Wherever there's an episodic series, you can bet two men will talk to you. AJ Talon and Owen Finch give their thoughts on Owen and AJ Talks.
Happy Halloween, everybody. If only when you did that hand thing, like a Halloween thing happened on Discord type of thing, but that didn't.
Yeah, but unfortunately not. But Owen, my hat's off to you because we were just talking about how I've been wearing a hat the last like fucking 10 videos.
And now you kind of booked
I fucking shaved my head for the academy, and then like the last couple videos, I like have had like hat hair, or like my hair was all sweaty before starting, so I didn't want to like not wear a hat during the videos. But I'm like, oh yeah, hey, I showered just a little while ago, and my hair's coming back pretty good. So I'm like, hey, maybe I won't wear a hat in this video.
And now you did both. You wore a hat and didn't wear a hat in this video. So, and you know, depending on how
I'm brushing. Oh my god.
And depending on how the recording goes, you could especially be doing both. One take you could not be wearing a hat. The next take you could be wearing a hat.
I know who. Maybe we'll like pause the video halfway and we'll come back tomorrow and I'll be wearing a fucking backwards cap or some shit.
You could be backward cap dude instead of backward cap girl. So,
Owen, just for you. I'm gonna do the whole video like this now.
You should have waited till we did a Yellow Jackets video, but okay. But I think this is cool because you actually have a personality and stuff, so I can call you by your name, and I'm not going to be yelling at the TV, who the hell are you? Because you actually have a personality and have developed a character, unlike Backwards Cap Girl. So
yeah, didn't wait till season 3 to do this. Oh yeah. But anyway, happy Halloween. We are back with a movie review, which has been a long ass time since we did this. Last one was Star Wars, like beginning of the year.
No, Inception. We did Inception.
Oh yeah, right. You're right. Never mind. Fuck me. But yeah. It's been a while since we've done a movie review anyway.
I will say this. This should go up on Halloween, but depending on how life goes, it might be Halloween weekend because I'm supposed to get my wisdom teeth done like Wednesday, and you know, depending on how long it takes me to edit this, and depending on how long it takes to record this, it might not exactly be Halloween. So I just want to make sure I say that because then, you know, if someone in the comments says it's not actually Halloween, it's November 1st actually type of thing. So, But, yeah, we're doing not just a movie review, we're kind of making history here because this is one of the first times that I can think of for a while where, you know, AJ and I are reviewing something where we're both, for the most part, completely blind on it because the last time I could think of was Glass, but I had seen the other two movies where AJ didn't see any of it. And I guess Inception, but, like, you had seen Inception, so...
I guess L movie... I think that was after Glass, right?
Yeah, L movie was after Glass because Glass was before Pandemic. So,
yeah, L movie was part of the last thing that we did that were like both of us were blind into it.
That's true because as we found out that ended up being its own thing. So,
yeah, but yeah, this is Evil Dead. This one was kind of funny because Owen is a big horror movie fan, and for October we had plans to do a couple horror movies. We didn't end up getting around to a lot of them, but we were like, let's do Evil Dead because, you know, that's a really famous one of the most iconic horror movies, I'd say, or like classic old horror movies. And also it's directed by Sam Raimi, who is the director for the Spider-Man trilogy. And as Owen knows, I'm a big Spider-Man fan.
Yeah, this is interesting too because it was going to be this or the Michael Myers Halloween movie, the first one. And I even said, like, hey, let's do this. We haven't done anything that we both haven't seen. I think this would be a missed opportunity if we didn't do Evil Dead. And
because we were leaning towards the Halloween movies, but again, you had seen those and you're already fans of them. So we were like, you know what, for this Halloween, do one.
And this is kind of cool because, you know, this is the first horror movie we're reviewing because, you know, we haven't done any horror movies yet. Well, I guess the Death Note movie, right? Is that technically horror?
Yeah, I guess.
It's horror to us. It's because we're scared of that because it sucks. So it's like, you know,
it's horror as in it's fucking horrible to watch.
But yeah, this is like the first horror movie where it's intended to be a horror movie. Because I thought Glass would have been the first horror movie because, you know, I had seen Split but didn't see the one before that. But then Glass didn't end up being a horror movie. So this is actually the first time we're doing a horror movie that we planned on doing, and then it still stayed a horror movie, so that's cool. And yeah, it's called The Evil Dead. It's not just Evil Dead, it's The Evil Dead. Because, you know, we always say Evil Dead, and then I'm like, oh, it's The Evil Dead. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'm going to guess if you went back now and asked Sam Raimi, he would probably just say Evil Dead. He wouldn't say The Evil Dead. But, you know, because obviously this wasn't supposed to carry over to, like, other ones. So, yeah.
Yeah, Evil Dead is probably what it got after. Kind of like how Star Wars, the first one, people start calling it A New Hope.
Yeah. But yeah, let's just get right into it. Yeah, let's go over who directed it, who wrote it, who did all this stuff. The director, like we said, was Sam Raimi. Or Sammy Raimi, sorry. And then he also wrote this movie. So that helps, you know, having the person who directed and wrote it. This seems to be a common theme for us, unless we do Yellow Jackets important episodes, where whoever wrote it ends up directing it. So that's cool.
While you're doing that, I'm on my AC because it's loud for me.
And then it was produced by Robert G. Tabert. He's done other stuff. He's done Xena, the One Princess television series. He's done the Boogeyman. He did both of the Don't Breathes. He's done a lot of the Evil Deads. He did 30 Days of Night. And he's also mainly done a lot of work with a lot of Sammy Raimi's movies, mainly his horror movies and everything like that. The cinematography was done by Tim Fillo. It was edited by Edna Ruth Paul. We'll get to him later. The music was done by Joan Ludusa. He's done a lot of Sam Raimi's works. It was distributed by New Line Cinema, and they've done a lot of horror movies. They did a lot of the Friday the 13th, well, the later Friday the 13th movies. They did a lot of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. They do a lot of horror movies too. They have to do with possessions and everything like that. So it makes sense that they've done this one. The production company that distributed this was Renaissance Pictures. So now, AJ, you get to have some fun. You get to guess the air date of when this movie came out. So there's two. If you guess, we'll take the Yellow Jackets best. If you guess one of them, I will give you it.
Right. I'm going to say, so I know it's 1981 because fucking Paramount Plus says 1981. I'm going to guess October-ish. You know what? I'm going to say today's date of October 27th, 1981. Probably not right, but you know what? We'll see.
You got kind of fucked over because if we had done this probably like last week, you probably would have gotten it because it's October 15th, 1981.
That would have been really fucking cool if I got that, yeah.
But you actually came very close.
And it's cool that we were almost...
Yeah. But again, it's not the United States air date. That's the Renford Theater because they did like an offshoot like air date. They just premiered it like to like a small crowd and everything like that. So that's why it says 1981 on the Evil Dead thing because that's actually when it came out. But the actual air date for the United States for everybody is really weirdly enough April 15th, 1983. So you know, you really got screwed over if you wanted to see this movie like back in 1981 type of thing. Some people got lucky, you know, they got to see this movie twice if they went to the Redford Theater and everything like that. So AJ, you get to have some fun here. Guess the budget for this movie.
I'm pretty sure because this is one of Sam Raimi's like first movies and really would put him on the map. I'm gonna guess, and it's pretty much in one location. I'm gonna guess it was a fairly low budget thing because it also only had like 5 actors. Yeah, I'm gonna guess like $5 million.
You are way off. The budget for this movie, you're gonna laugh when I tell you this. I couldn't believe it. I mean, when you watch the movie, but it's actually only $375,000. That's the budget.
Wow, that is super low. But I guess back then, you know, obviously, like less expensive to do this shit, you know.
Yeah, maybe it was a lot back then too. You know, we laugh at this now.
I feel like we're kind of, you know, nowadays, you know, fucking movies cost like $1 billion to make, you know, where I'm like, oh yeah, right. It's, yeah.
Yeah. So this does seem low, but yeah, maybe it actually was a lot back then. You can kind of tell it's a low budget if you watch the movie though. Cause I've seen, you know, it doesn't have that excuse where it's just old. You could definitely tell that it's lower budget because I've seen other movies that have come out like in 1981, and you could definitely tell they have more like a budget behind it than Evil Dead does.
And also, the actors for this don't have like Wikipedia pages, so presumably this was kind of like their main role that they did. Or I know for Ash, this is like the most iconic thing he's done. Ash is a pretty iconic character.
Yeah, but yeah, let's just
Which us now. Oh, and like the only thing I really knew about Evil Dead was the main character Ash, and like he has the chainsaw hand.
Yeah, that doesn't come to be really in this movie. So
yeah. The end of the movie implies Ash dies, and I'm like, well, he didn't get his chainsaw hand in this one, so presumably he's gonna live and get that in another movie.
I assume it's like the Star Wars thing. Obviously they wrote it as the end, but they didn't. They didn't realize they do more. So they. I wonder how they.
They probably didn't plan on a sequel, so they probably just ended it like, "Oh, Ash dies," but it's ambiguous enough where it's like, "Okay, yeah, I guess he's alive."
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see because the Star Wars one, there's enough there where we're like, and I guess I know enough. We're like, okay, obviously you could kind of tell why there's other ones type of thing. With this one, it'll be interesting to see how they write themselves out of the fate of Ash at the end of the movie and everything like that. But yeah, let's before we even get to any of that, let's talk about the behind the scenes, how this movie came to be and everything like that. This is actually kind of an interesting thing. Usually when we review a movie or something, the person who's behind the scenes, like writing the movies, the director, like have established themselves. Like with the person who did Inception, I forget who it was, but he had already done stuff before, like he did The Dark Knight and everything like that. So Sam Raimi really didn't have a lot of works, like you said, this was the kind of the thing that got him on the map. But him and Bruce Campbell, who plays Ash, were childhood friends, so that explains why Bruce Campbell ends up showing up in a lot of works that Sam Raimi does because they were childhood friends. And they did some short movies. They did movies called It's Murder. They did a movie called Into the Woods. There was a scene that happened in It's Murder. It was a really intense scene that kind of got Sam Raimi thinking like he could maybe try to do a horror movie and all that type of stuff. So he kind of used Within the Woods to kind of so that way he could get like a small budget going. He ended up showing it to I just want to make sure that to Phil Gillis, who was one of his childhood friend lawyers, and originally he wasn't very impressed with the movie. He kind of gave him some advice for it, but Sam Raimi was still pretty persistent in trying to get this movie going. And he tried to get some people to do donations for the movie. And again, this sounds like it'd be pretty easy because nowadays people could just make it like a website or make like a Reddit page or make a Patreon page and all that stuff to get donations. But this is this is before 1981. This is like probably the late 70s, 1980 type of thing. Getting donations to do a movie probably isn't as easy. At some points, it said that Sam Raimi even begged for donations, which is really funny. It makes me think of the Squidward meme where he's just outside in the box saying spare
change.
And a lot of Bruce Campbell, his family and his friends helped make this movie, help donate to help make this movie and all that type of stuff. And originally this movie was going to be called Book of the Dead. That ends up changing later on, but yeah, they were going to call this the Book of the Dead, which makes sense because when you see how, Evil Dead kind of happens in the movie, it makes sense why it's called Book of the Dead type of thing, and the book's like the big part of the movie and everything like that. But yeah, they were able to finally get enough money. They did the budget that I said earlier, this was gonna, Sam Raimi decided this was gonna be like his rite of passage movie. This was gonna be the movie that was gonna kickstart his career, and like you said, that ended up happening. So that's good. And Bruce Campbell ends up doing quite a bit of work behind the scenes of this movie, which makes a lot of sense because he's in a lot of this movie, as we're going to talk about. Again, he's in the whole last half of the movie, pretty much. He helped produce this movie, and he was kind of like one of the only ones that really stuck around, like during the whole runtime of when they were like in production of this movie, which is really interesting. They got around this too because obviously he's in a good chunk of this movie, so they had to get stunt doubles. I think they had to get like I don't know if it's his brother, but somebody's brother to like do stand-in for any scenes that Bruce Campbell produced and all that type of stuff and directed, which is pretty interesting. They had to use the Detroit News to advertise to get the other actors for the movie, or to just get any other actors for the movie, and they ended up getting Betsy Baker and Ellen Sanwiz. Probably butchered one of those names. I assume it's the latter. I hope. And this is kind of cool because one of them crossed over and was in Into the Woods, so that's pretty cool because Into the Woods wasn't because Evil Dead was inspired by Into the Woods, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Sounds like that was like the prototype Evil Dead.
Yep. And Tom Sullivan came in and he did a lot of the special effects and everything like that. I'm just gonna read this verbatim on Wiki since I'll probably butcher this, but he did a lot of the effects with the fake blood and everything like that. Everything like that. I know I said I was going to read it off the wiki, but then I just didn't because I didn't really feel like they needed to. I think it's pretty obvious. Huh?
You're just quirky like that.
Yep. And how they came up with the location of the movie. Obviously, typically, when a big movie company and stuff is going to make a movie, they have scouts go over and kind of decide the location. But again, because they don't have a lot of budget, they didn't really have scouts. So they were originally going to do it in Royal Oak, Michigan, because that's where Sam Raimi grew up and everything like that. But they chose Morristown, Tennessee, because it actually had like some enthusiasm, some interest in this movie. So they kind of went with that. They went to the cabin, which is pretty cool. And a lot of stuff kind of happened to kind of make this movie happen. I won't quote. I'm not going to read it verbatim, but a lot of the stuff they had to rig a camera onto like a moving block of wood and like rotate it. So like a lot of the scenes that you see, like where you see like a creature, that was done by motion cam. Some of it, Bruce Campbell had to hold the camera and just run around the woods and everything like that type of thing. Again, this is low budget, so like a lot of this stuff is just them holding the camera. The scene at the end, where presumably Ash dies, they just hooked up a camera to a bicycle and just like had it go around the cabin type of thing. A lot of the scenes where they had to wear lenses, because obviously, since it's a low-budget movie, they had to put Tupperware on their faces, and they could only do it for like a good 15 minutes, and then they would have to obviously take it off, because it would blind you if you kept it on for that amount of time type of thing. I just want to make sure I get everything right here. I talked about that already. Some of the Three Stooges was an inspiration in a sense, because obviously they had to use fake stand-ins for some of the stuff like I talked about before. And this was kind of interesting. I'm going to read this verbatim because I think, because it's in air quotes, but it said, Raimi enjoyed torturing his actors. Raimi believed that to capture pain and anger in his actors, he had to abuse them a little at times, saying if everyone was in extreme pain and misery, then it would relate to the horror movie. Producer Robert Tabert agreed with Raimi, so he said he enjoyed it when the actors ended up bleeding. Some of the actors end up, getting some injuries during this movie. Nothing major, but like some cuts and bruises. Cause
and at least it's not like fucking Aaron Paul, where he fucking kept getting injured on set. Remember when Tuco actually fucking like broke his or gave him a concussion?
Yeah. I'm still, even though we haven't heard about it, I'm still convinced he somehow got injured when El Camino was filmed. I don't know how, but I'm convinced he got injured somehow. But at one point, like I said, when Bruce Campbell had to run around in the woods, he ended up cutting his foot, so they translated that into the movie. In the cabin, they ended up staying there like 13 days, and it was like a bunch of people stayed there at once, and it led to a lot of arguments and stuff, because again, you stay with someone for a long amount of time, especially it's 13 people, and as you see, the cabin's not very big, AJ.
Yeah.
There's gonna be fights.
But it doesn't look like it can hold the 5 people in universe, let alone out of universe 13. Yeah, no.
Yep. And yeah, they finished the movie on January 23rd, 1980, but then they had to obviously adjust some things, and they had to go, and some of the actors ended up having to go back to do some just some small things they wanted them to do. Let's see. So some of the sounds, in the editing process didn't get recorded. So some of it, they had to get added in later with Bruce Campbell making weird noises. As you're going to hear with some of the noises, AJ, they ended up just taking chickens and just murdering them to make the sound that the demons end up making and all that.
Oh, murdered chickens? Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. Eventually when the movie finally, and again, Bruce Campbell, I think I said, had to scream into a microphone for several hours to get the some of the sound effects working too. And then when it came time for them to actually release this movie, Sam Raimi wanted to have a big premiere for this movie because he spent a lot of time really making it. He wanted this movie to have a big premiere, and obviously that sounds like a pipe dream because again, you didn't really have a lot of budget. How much can you really have a big premiere for something that didn't really have a lot of budget? And then that costs a lot of money to do things like that. And I think he wanted to have a big premiere because I didn't say this, but they also took out some loans to even have this movie be created and everything like that. So Sam Raimi had to pay the people back and everything like that. So they ended up choosing to release it at the Redford Theater, like I said before, because Bruce Campbell visited there a lot in his childhood, and that's where Sam Raimi watched a lot of his movies. So they did some custom things. They had some custom tickets for those people. They had they made it seem like it was an actual horror experience. They had ambulances outside, and they made it feel like a real horror vibe and everything like that, which was pretty cool. And then Irvin Shapiro, who created, I want to make sure I get this right, the Cannes Film Festival, got a look at this movie, and he really liked it. And obviously, when it came time for the 1982 festival, he pushed for this movie to be one of the ones shown, and that's pretty. That's obviously really good because usually a movie like this, where it doesn't have a lot of budget behind it and everything like that, doesn't get shown at a festival early and all that type of stuff. It's usually a big screen movie. Stephen King saw this movie and really praised this movie. Talked about how all the things that Bruce Campbell and Sammy Raimi ended up putting into this movie were things that he never seen before in horror movies. There was a top 10 list of horror movies that Stephen King said he really liked, and this movie was on there at number 5, which is very interesting because again, it really wasn't a big movie yet. It hadn't even had a big release yet, so that got a lot of attention to this movie. And then Stephen Woolley, he's a big British distributor. Took a lot of big risks when it came to releasing the movie and when it came to producing the movie and everything like that. And he really got this movie seen in the UK. And then several critics started writing about this movie. And then New Line Cinema, who, like I said before, ended up distributing this movie, really liked this movie and gave Sam Raimi a lot of money to get this movie going. They released it and very uniquely where they release it both on VHS and the theaters, which is very interesting. And yeah, that's pretty much it for kind of you know, the behind the scenes stuff. I probably did a very shitty job talking about it. Some of this stuff's on Wiki, so you can just check it out there. But kind of interesting to see how like this low budget film ended up just really gaining traction and everything like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I can already it's pretty obvious it's a fairly low budget movie, but like when you put it like that, it sounds like it was a really uphill battle just to fucking get anything done in this movie, you know?
Yeah, and that's why when we do LVP and MVP, I am probably going to say Ash is the MVP because I know it's in character, but again, the fact that he was doing a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, I think really makes him MVP even more type of thing.
Yeah, the actor Bruce Campbell, because I know he again went on to do more stuff, but he was also had a big hand in behind the scenes stuff, which makes sense.
And pretty cool, like, because again, he's a big actor now, but this also, we talk about this got Sam Raimi going. This also got Bruce Campbell really going in the acting world and everything like that.
Yeah, they are friends because Bruce Campbell cameos in the Spider-Man movies. He's like the wrestler announcer, and he like names Spider-Man.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember that in the first one where Peter's like trying to make money, so he like goes to like a wrestling thing.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I just looked it up on Wiki.
Bruce Campbell's like, "Oh, that sucks," and he's like, "I got it. This is the Amazing Spider-Man." You know, like that's him.
So that's cool that Ash, in a sense, also helped name the Spider-Man movie type of thing.
Yeah. So I knew they were friends because he cameos in like Sam Raimi's other movies, but I didn't know they were like friends from their childhood, and they had an airing at like their childhood movie theater. That's really cool.
Yeah, and like I think like you said, when you go in their wikis and stuff, they always end up being like in each other's role. Like Bruce Campbell always has a role like in one of his movies, it seems like, and everything like that.
Yeah. Which is, it's always cool, kind of like how Adam Sandler is really good friends with like Kevin James and stuff, so they're usually in movies together, or other examples like that. But yeah, it's always really cool when they kind of include their friends in projects like that.
Going through the cast though, it's a very limited cast, like I said before. It's only the main four. As we said, Bruce Campbell plays Ash Williams. Like we just said, he ended up this basically took off his career. Because Evil Dead gets so big, he's in basically every single Evil Dead. There's Ash versus Evil Dead. He's in some of the Spider-Man movies. He does a lot of other stuff. Ellen Sandwich.
Yeah. I know Ash, it's really cool because it's funny because usually in horror movies, like the horror movie monster is kind of the breakout star. Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy. But it's kind of funny. Ash ends up being the iconic thing in Evil Dead rather than like the monsters.
Yeah, that's really unique. Usually it's the reverse. The only other time I can think of is Laurie Strode for Michael Myers in the Michael Myers movies type of thing. But again, that Michael Myers broke out more, but Ash is the one that really breaks out and everything like that.
Yeah, and I'm guessing it's more so from the sequels rather than this one. But like I know because like they have like spin-offs. Like I know there's a comic book called Freddy vs. Jason versus Ash, which is like a sequel to Freddy vs. Jason, and then I guess they threw Ash in there.
Yeah. And
then there's a thing called Marvel Zombies, which is it's the Marvel universe, but they get infected by zombies. And then they ended up doing a spin-off of that, of like how the Marvel universe became zombies, and I guess like Ash from the Evil Dead ended up coming into Marvel, and like I guess like the Book of the Dead is the reason why the Marvel Zombies thing happened. But I just like heard about it from a friend.
That's insane. That like that's how big Ash became from this movie right here.
But yeah, it's also funny, again, Sam Raimi ended up having a hand in Spider-Man, so kind of funny that like his other project, Evil Dead, tied into another big Marvel project that happened back in like the early 2000s.
I mean, in a way, it also does tie into Avengers, because don't forget, like a few years ago, they did like that big crossover with all the Spider-Mans, and like, Peter Parker, the person who plays him in the originals, like is in that stuff too. So in a weird way, that bleeds in. But then the other actors, Alan Sandwich, who I mentioned, plays Cheryl Williams. That's I'll probably just say how all the actors and stuff connect now, since they don't really say it until like much in the movie. But that's Ash's girlfriend, and then no, that's not Ash's girlfriend. That's her sister. And then Richard de Menicourt, who's also known as How Delwish, is Scott. Doesn't have a wiki, so I guess this movie didn't make his career, which is unfortunate. Either that or he just keeps his life private, you don't know. Maybe he's a big actor and he just keeps his life private.
People are just like, fuck Hollywood, and they're like, no, I don't really want to be an actor anymore.
What happened to him in this movie? Maybe this movie is the what?
It's like, what? If the director was like, yeah, I really like my actors feeling pain and misery, you know what? I'd probably be done too.
You should direct a church, didn't direct this movie type of thing. Yeah.
All right. Like psychologically fucking torturing everybody.
But anyhow, I'm glad you got it that time, by the way. I remember I kept making that joke last movie with you,
Yeah, where you're like, kids, I'm like, oh, cool, the director of the movie. And you're like, no, the fucking director from Red vs. Blue.
But then Betsy Baker plays Linda. She ends up showing up a lot in Bruce Campbell stuff, actually. Like, a lot of his works, which is pretty cool. And then Teresa Tilly, as Sarah, also known as Sarah York, as Shelley. And there's some uncredited ones. Sam Raimi has a cameo where he's the local fisherman, and he's like the voice of the Evil Dead, which you'll talk about. And then Robert J. Talbot is also one of the local fishermen. And Bob Doran is the professor. I can't say the last name, but Professor Noby's voice, and we'll talk about him when we get to him later. But there's some uncredited ones. And that's all the behind-the-scenes stuff. And I spent a half hour on that. And you know what that means, AJ? We're coming back here tomorrow, most likely now. So,
right. But yeah, which is good. I'm fine with that because it's my day off. But yeah, I think that's it for the behind-the-scenes stuff, right?
For like the talk shit and everything, I'll probably do it more, at the end, like how talk.
Well, yeah, behind-the-scenes shit. But yeah, into the movie itself. Again, that's what I like about these movie things is we usually take a lot longer than behind-the-scenes stuff. It's really cool to see everything that went into it, because usually when we do episodes, we'll go a little bit into the behind-the-scenes, but we mainly focus on like the episode rather than all the extra shit.
Yeah, I will say this: I also didn't look up. I didn't look into it. I looked into it a bunch, but not too much, because again, I haven't seen the other Evil Dead, so I didn't want to get spoiled.
Yeah, I think I did see one scene from like Evil Dead 3, but like I don't know the context behind it. But it is really weird now that I've seen this one, and I'm like, I don't know how that happens. But we'll get to it when we get to it.
Yeah, and I've seen other ones. I've seen like the remake, and I saw the one that came out in 2023. But like, again,
first, yeah, I haven't seen the remake, but getting into it, this movie starts off very creepily with like you said, it kind of like you can kind of tell it's a little low budget because like, the camera, and you can definitely tell it's somebody just kind of running around with the camera or like on a bike, like you said. Kind of picks up from like leaves and it's just darting around this like clearing in the woods, just darting around the trees. But then you got some creepy music playing. Then I will say I like that about this movie. The music is very good in this. It's very low key, like it's very quiet, but like it's just present enough to like be recognizable and like unsettling, But like it's not like too loud or in your face.
Yeah, I like that
like,
about it. What complements the scene?
The music.
Yeah. Well, I talked over you. I just want to. So you cut out there. So.
Oh yeah, saying like the music isn't like super loud or like anything, but like it's like quiet, to like not like be distracting, and it's like present enough to help the scenes, like it's that perfect like just quiet enough like creepy music,
Yeah, I really like the music a lot in this movie. I think they, like you said, it complemented very well, and it really fits the theme of the whole movie. Kind of like
I haven't seen a ton of horror movies, but there are some where like the music is just like obnoxious, and it's kind of ruining the horror vibe. This is like quiet enough to be like unsettling.
I mean, I think the example I could give is Yellow Jackets too. There's some songs that end up being in them. Like, okay, you just clearly picked the song because it's a really popular song. It does not fit at all. So,
And I mean, like RVB, I think could be a little bit obnoxious with that too. Like some of the rap songs in season 10. Maybe it's like just weren't really my cup of tea. And I'm like, all right, it's a little distracting.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think Ben, Danny, and Avatar have been pretty okay with music. I can't think of anything that was like super distracting in that. But yeah, anyway, this music is really good. But yeah, and then we kind of intercut with this like, creepy darting around the woods with just 5 people just driving in this car. And Owen, you pointed this out that I guess this is like Sam Raimi's favorite car because Uncle Ben in Spider-Man 1 is driving this car.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's cool because I went with a group of friends that mentioned this. And I asked you about it to kind of confirm because I wasn't sure and I haven't seen the first Spider-Man in like years.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know. I'm not really a car person. But yeah, you looked it up. And it seems like this is maybe it's not the same car, but it's the same model of car at least.
Yeah.
Which I imagine was intentional.
And with how this car runs, I could see why Ben ends up dying in Spider-Man because the car probably didn't run good.
Yeah, Jesus.
So.
But yeah, we meet our 5 main characters, and I will say probably the weakest part of this movie is the characters are all pretty basic. I will say. Ash is definitely the most interesting out of the 5. But even him, he's kind of just like your average guy. Like he's not like anything crazy, which is fine. Like I don't think he really needs to be anything crazy for this. I think him being like the average man thrown into this fucking crazy situation, makes him endearing. You really feel bad for him.
Yeah. Overall, the characters were pretty generic horror movie characters. Not like obnoxious because in some of the Friday the 13th, you get like the obnoxious like party crowd. I'm glad they're not like up to that level. They're just like normal kids for the most part.
Yeah, like they are not bad. Again, I think they all act pretty rationally. They're not really making too many stupid decisions, except for like Scott a couple times, I guess. But like there's like reasons behind it, which we'll get into. But yeah, they're fine. They're just kind of generic. They just kind of serve their purpose.
I do say one thing I like is they don't like overly explain because obviously we're meeting these characters for the first time, but in the movie they know each other the whole life, so they don't like overly explain who they are. Like they don't.
Yeah, so I do like that. Again, they presumably known each other for a long time. They don't like really need to like go super into it. Like they don't have Scott be like, "Hey Ash, remember when me and you met fucking 5 years ago and we did this, this, and this?" They can kind of just tell they're friends.
Yeah.
Although I will say, I think a little bit of explanation would have been nice because, like, at one point, Cheryl is like mocking Ash, and he's like, "Hey Ash, it's your sister Cheryl," and I was like, "Oh wait, that's his sister." Like I didn't know that was his sister until they mentioned that.
Yeah. Or because I actually thought it was Scott's sister first viewing, actually, type of thing.
Yeah, because I was kind of weirded out. I was like, okay, so wait, Scott and Shelly are dating, Ash and Linda are dating, and I was like, why the fuck is like this like fifth wheel kind of just going on this vacation with them? And like, okay, it being his sister makes more sense. But yeah, I don't know. You don't really get the vibe because Ash is like later on heartbroken over Linda, but he seems pretty okay with what happens with Cheryl, which, considering that's supposed to be his sister, is kind of weird.
Yeah, so I wish we kind of got more characterization based on that.
Yeah, which is weird because we actually, besides Ash, we probably get the most time with Cheryl.
Yeah, I would say it's probably like Ash, then Cheryl, then Scott, then Linda, then Shelby, or whatever her name, Shelly.
But yeah, they're kind of just driving to presumably like a little vacation spot. They mentioned that it's a little cabin in the woods to kind of hang out at, and they got it pretty cheap. But they're like kind of suspicious because I guess so. Scott's the one who bought it, like for this little trip. But like they found out he actually hasn't seen it. So like, oh god, it's probably gonna be a piece of shit. I think one of them is wearing like a university jacket. So I guess presumably they're like, university, like early 20 kids kind of just going on like a spring break or something.
Yeah, that's the vibe I got.
Yeah, they don't like overly explain it. Again, I don't think they needed to. But I guess it's just 5, young people hanging out, going on a little trip together. Up in the mountains, I guess. But yeah, we see, it's definitely the 80s because Josh is in the back trying to like figure out where they are on the map. I'm like, oh god, yeah, this is definitely an old movie because fucking nowadays you just GPS that shit.
I was like thinking that too. I'm like, wow, that's honestly that's probably the scene that stands out to me the most in this whole movie, probably just because of like, wow, you would not see that at all nowadays, type of thing.
Yeah. And it's funny, yeah, you mentioned in the behind the scenes that this is set in Tennessee, and yeah, sure enough, because I think Ash just mentioned like, okay, we just passed the Tennessee border, so we're probably around here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as they're driving, the car almost smashes into another car on the same road because like the wheel locks up while Scott's driving it, and Ash mentions like, "Oh man, this car's a piece of shit. I just got it fixed, and it's already fucking busted." So this is kind of setting up that like they're not going to be able to drive the car later. Well, I don't know. Is this? I feel like that's not really good setup because I kind of figured the car shitting the bed later is like the Evil Dead fucking with the car.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I think they also wanted to have that question, like, is it,
Well, yeah, I was gonna say like maybe that was them question, like they're like not sure if it's the car or the Evil Dead, but like literally the next scene, Cheryl gets possessed. So I'm like, okay, well, I mean, like that wasn't really like left ambiguous very long.
No, it wasn't, but whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, and then they're testing the horn, and we fucking see the only other two humans in this movie besides the main five, which is kind of funny. Just two fishermen, and they kind of just wave at them as they drive by. So yeah, kind of just setting up that this is a very like kind of backwards, not like backwoods area, like not a lot of people around. And yeah, sure enough, they go over this bridge, which even has a sign being like, "Danger! This bridge sucks ass. If you drive over it and die, not our fault."
And AJ totally didn't improvise there. That's totally what it actually said in the movie, type of thing.
And that's exactly what it said, word for word. And yeah, sure enough, they go over the bridge, and the tire goes through it. And this is pretty funny, where Ash like opens the door to see like what they got stuck on, and he sees like the wood from the bridge fucking going into the river, so he just like immediately shuts it, and they fucking floor it over the bridge. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I do think it's funny, by the way, the local fisherman was like the director and like the editor of the movie, and like Scott ended up yelling like, "Fuck you! I wasn't beeping at you." Like he got to basically like, I guess after all that time of getting to
Fuck himself. Yeah,
maybe that's why he doesn't have a big wiki or like a big acting career, because he told the director in the movie to go fuck himself.
Yeah, it's like Sam Raimi's like, "All right, I'm gonna ruin you," and he's like, "But I'm just doing what the script said." He's like, "Shit."
We went off script. He could have gone off script.
Yeah. But yeah, they get to the cabin, and yeah, they're immediately like, "Oh, this place is the dump." And while everybody's kind of unpacking, Scott takes a look around, and this is cool. One, in a very creepy vibe, just kind of seeing but like I like that we're actually seeing the like pretty much the whole interior of the cabin. Considering the whole movie's going to be set in the cabin, like that's kind of cool to like get a feel for it, because like sometimes like we just don't really get a good like look at like the inside of like whatever,
Yeah.
Like we really get to see just like how big the cabin is, like where everything is in relation to each other. Because again, considering the whole movie is going to be like, them popping in and out of the cabin, I think that sense of dread of like, fuck, where is it? And like knowing where everything is helps to that suspense.
I really like the way the scene was laid out too, because the camera goes behind the car and this, the music plays, and obviously you get the vibe like, yeah, this place is creepy anyways. Like they already have a bad feeling about this, but like these characters are about to enter into like something big. I
feel like it's kind of tough to review this movie because a lot of it is atmosphere. Because it's like a lot of this movie can be described as a character slowly walking towards like something, and then it's like kind of like them looking around to see if like the monster's around.
Yeah,
and that is a lot of. But like it's not bad, like it is. A lot of it is atmosphere, the music, the build-up, the camera work. It's kind of stuff that's hard to describe, like in a review.
Yeah, but it's still cool. No,
that's what I'm saying. good. Like when I'm describing it, it might sound bad, but like it is good. A lot of it is like the atmosphere, the camera work, and the music.
Yeah.
You know?
But I just really like, when we see the cabin for the first time, it's like, I like that and I like too, because we're supposed to be feeling this way, but like the cast, the characters also feel this way. But it's not just because.
Like, kind of walk around and he's kind of off put by it. Like, yeah, we get the interior of the cabin, and then he kind of goes into like the little shed area where there's like little hooks around and like a little table.
Mm-hmm.
I will say we spend a good amount of time in this shot in like the little cabin area, not the cabin, like the little shed, and the shed's only in like one scene later on.
Yeah, and I thought it was going to be in like a bigger scene and stuff later on, type of thing.
Yeah, but it's mainly like the living room and like the basement later on. Yeah, and then like obviously like right outside the cabin too. But yeah, they all kind of make themselves at home. And oh yeah, another thing I like about this is that it's kind of set in one night. Like all of this is happening in one night, which I like because I feel like the characters would be really fucking dumb if like a bunch of creepy shit happens over like the course of several days and they stick around.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that the vibe. Well, as we find out, they would have had a choice but to stick around for several fucking days, as we'll get to. But yeah,
I mean, like this all happening over one day and then like kind of trying to wait till morning. Like it makes sense. Like again, it makes sense they're like stuck there because I mean, I've seen again. I haven't seen a ton, but there's some more horror movies where they like stick to like the creepy ass area for like several days.
Yeah,
and it's like, dude, you fucking leave,
Yeah.
But like again, it makes like a lot of this happens very, very quickly.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what makes this movie really good too. Is everything's happened so quickly that the characters obviously are stressed out about it, and you feel like stressed out about it at the same time. Like, oh my gosh, like how did? Because which is really good type of thing. So
yeah. So yeah. Again, we get a good look at the cabin, which again I like since considering that's our setting. The characters kind of settle in. Presumably, it's just like a little bit later. And Cheryl is just like in one of like the common areas. Look like drawing a clock, the like pendulum clock. But then all of a sudden, she kind of like loses control of her hand, and all of a sudden, like it like rips off the page of the clock, and like she begins drawing, like a book, like a picture of a book.
Yep. And again,
and it's foreshadowing like a big important object in this movie.
And also the clock stops too, which was obviously creepy. Shows that like
you can hear like the wind outside, and like obviously like shit's happening, like it's not just the hand, like there's a build up to it.
And we get like an outside shot of whoever this demon like is telling like Cheryl to like join us type of thing.
Here's there's like we didn't see this before. There's like a little door to like the basement, and she kind of hears like rattling.
Yeah, so a lot of really creepy vibes there, and I like that it's subtly built up type of thing.
Yeah, and like this wasn't anything crazy, but yeah, sure enough, Cheryl was obviously freaked out by it, and off screen she tries to tell everybody, but we cut to dinner, and Scott's kind of making fun of her of like, oh, there's something in the basement, which I get it. They've only been there for a little bit. And, I can kind of get why Scott's not taking her too seriously. He thinks she's just like, like being paranoid about whatever.
This is why I thought Scott was like, they were brother and sister, because that seems like something like a big brother would have done to like a little sister type of thing. But,
yeah. Oh, you're just being a scaredy cat. Yeah.
Should I take over here? Because this kind of ties into my thing. So, everyone's kind of getting ready to eat dinner, and Ash tries to do like a toast, and he's trying to quote like a Greek philosopher, but he does a really shitty job of doing it, which I kind of like. And their basic plan is to just party and everything like that. I like that you're kind of getting like a feel of the characters here. You like Scott is kind of like the outrageous. He's not a complete party boy type of thing, but he's a little bit more outrageous and like a little reckless than everybody is, and you can kind of tell Ash is like the pure like good one of the group. He's always kind of looking at the bright side. Like when they talked about the cabin, Ash was actually like hopeful that the cabin could be like something nice and everything like that. And he kind of lifts everybody else's like spirits up and everything like that. And then before they can even like eat dinner, the cellar like door opens. And obviously this was very creepy because it just opened like randomly type of thing. There was no build up to it or anything like that. And you know, the woman are talking about how they just think it's some sort of animal. And I think it's Cheryl mentions, you know, they should just like close it up and you know, not deal with it anymore. And you know, if they just listen to Cheryl, this movie wouldn't really be. Maybe I shouldn't say that because.
Well, like, kind of the like the reckless kind of one out of the group. You know, he kind of wants just to start shit essentially.
Yeah, but as I say, if they listen to Cheryl here, they probably would have. So the movie wouldn't happen. But I don't.
Yeah. Like, all right, guys, let's close it up, and everyone's like, "Great idea, Cheryl," and then it's like credits.
But then again, I don't know that though because like I mean, yeah, they wouldn't have found the book, but this creepy shit was kind of happening before that, anyways. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it seemed like it already, like, the demons or whatever the fuck they are, already had some kind of influence. So, like, yeah, I guess maybe it would have led them to the book anyway.
Yeah. So, Scott, you know, Scott goes down there to look, to investigate to see if it's like an animal or something. You get a really good creepy vibe here where a good minute or so, the characters are just kind of looking down at the basement. And we think something's happened to Scott because we don't hear heads or tails of him for like a good minute or so. And everyone's like calling for his name. They're kind of like, you know, he's just kidding around at first, but then they're like, Izzy. And then Ash, you know, goes down there and we find out they only have one flashlight, so he has to bring the lantern down there. And you get this really good creepy vibe where he goes down to the basement. You know, from the pipes, there's water leaking off, and you just get this really creepy vibe. You get this good, really good 360 shot where he goes down there, and you get to really see like how creepy the basement is and everything like that, which I think is really cool. And I like that this looks like a basement that hasn't been touched for like years and everything like that. There's like cobwebs down there and everything like that.
You already said it, but I do really like the 360. Like camera motion. Well, because one, really creepy, and two, again, what I said earlier, I really like getting like a really good view of like our surroundings. You know, like really, it makes you feel like you're there.
Yeah.
You know? Like to really get a good like establishing shot of where everything is in relation to each other.
So then, you know, Ash opens up this door, and Scott peeks out and scares Ash. And obviously, with the way this was written, this was supposed to be a jump scare for the audience because you was supposed to be thinking that like, you know, a demon was gonna come up or something like that. But it was just it's just Scotty, that rascal. You know, I like this though. I don't think he was necessarily teasing him type of thing because as you see, what Scotty did was he found a tape recorder.
I think a little bit. Probably he probably was just trying to mess with him.
Yeah, but then he found a tape recorder. He found a gun. He found some bullets for the gun, and we find this book. And as you know, this book was obviously, unless you know, this book is obviously going to be a tie-in because this was what Cheryl drew earlier. Obviously, we have both perspectives here because you have the perspective of not seeing the other Evil Dead, so you knew this book was going to be trouble anyways. But I have the perspective, well, I've seen the other Evil Dead movies. I know this book isn't really a good thing to be opening up or anything like that. So, I would say this book gets fucking huge in like later movies. It's like it's a really small like book, but for some reason this book gets like massive like later on, like almost
like a little like notebook you keep in your pocket. Which I was kind of surprised by. I don't know. Yeah, you figure it'd be a bigger object.
I personally like.
Not like it becomes a bigger deal in the other movies, right?
Yeah. That's why I did say it's a bigger book later on, type of thing. It's like it's the size of a fucking textbook later on. So.
Okay. Yeah.
I personally like this one because like I feel like it being like a textbook later on. It's like, yeah, that's kind of a little goofy. I like the fact that it's kind of like just a little small pocket notebook and everything like that. Oh, I wish we could have got like a middle ground, like the Death Note. That's not really that. That's a big. That's not that big of a book, I guess.
Yeah, that's like a sized book. Yeah.
Not, you know, not the size where you rewrite everyone's names in what, like 24 hours or some what bullshit that was type of thing. Not that. Not.
Oh my god, yeah, that fucking guy who wrote like 6 years worth of names in fucking 24 hours. That more
Yeah,
shit.
not that average size, but still a pretty average size.
Yeah. Oh god, I totally fucking forgot about that.
And I'm just hey, you know what we need? These guys needed Nier for this movie though. They'd be out of there in a second. So
yeah, Nier would have gotten him out of there. He would have fucking he would have known the cabin was haunted during the car ride. He would have fucking read the script.
yeah, and then Sammy Rabbit would have fired him and made it so he didn't have a wiki. So
Ash goes into the basement. He finds a cursed book. Fucking Nier goes into a basement and finds a script.
Yep. So
oh, by the way, I again they kind of Scott isn't like anything crazy, but they did a good job kind of establishing he's reckless really quickly. Because when they find the shotgun, he Ash is kind of like looking at the book, not really paying attention. He looks up and he sees Scott's like pointing the shotgun at him, like jokingly.
Yeah.
Kind of, oh Jesus, fucking Scott's a little fucking, cuckoo. Not cuckoo, but he's just like a kind of an asshole.
And I kind of I like the fact that they're also friends here, like bros. They're kind of bantering a little bit, talking about.
Oh yeah, and Scott's just like joking around, like he's not like doing anything. He's just like really mean spirited. But like again, obviously pointing a fucking shotgun at your friend is like Jesus, man. Like all right, gun safety.
Well, he didn't. It wasn't loaded, so that's okay. So
yeah,
if it was loaded, that would be a different story. So.
Oh, and I should have done that when I was doing my fucking academy shit. I just point the gun at the instructor, be like, "Hey, it's not loaded." Yeah, that definitely wouldn't have fucking got me fired.
Not at all. So, but he also finds this dagger that's got like the face of evil's like all over it. Like it's got like a skull that's like really evil and everything like that. Evil Dead. You gotta have the evil stuff in there. So. And obviously them thinking this stuff really isn't that much. They're like, let's just take the stuff upstairs type of thing. Presumably this is later on in the night. They've been listening to the tapes for a little bit. They've been getting high and everything like that. They're kind of talking about like the scientist.
Were they getting high? Realize that?
Yeah, I think they were getting high. Well, getting high because I saw like. They were like, maybe not them, maybe not all of them, but like Scotty was like smoking like a joint or whatever type of thing.
Oh, I didn't know. That's cool. It's a cool little detail.
And
this whole movie, I'm fucking tripping out.
Or just Scotty, nobody else.
Yeah, I was gonna say like fucking that wasn't weed he was smoking.
It's the wilderness, like you said, type of.
Yeah, the fucking wilderness juices. Yeah, it's the same wilderness as fucking Yellow Jackets.
Oh no, I was actually saving. I was gonna say this joke for later, but I'm gonna say that if the Yellow Jackets got stuck in this wilderness, they would be like begging for the Yellow Jackets. It's like, yeah, let's go back to the wilderness.
But maybe I treated you too harshly. We'll take the other woods, please.
Because if there was these woods,
No, they're fucked.
I think Ben might be okay.
Yeah. Again, I think Ben would pull an Ash.
Does he?
That'd be an amazing fucking what if. What if Ben was an Evil Dead?
No, just 2 legs or 1 leg, because that's a big difference.
I mean, 2 legs, he fucking never goes to the cabin in the first place.
That's true. But yeah, so the listening, and we find out that Ash found a tape downstairs, and we find out that it's the scientist whose name I said earlier, whose name I couldn't pronounce, so I'm not going to try again. And he's been conducting experiments, and he decided to go to this cabin because obviously he's been working on these experiments for a while. He wanted to get away from civilization so he can like really focus on these experiments, which I liked. I liked that he knew about this and like decided to conduct the experiments. And I'm just gonna read some of this part off the wiki because I'll probably butcher it. we find out that this is the Notorum Demento, a Sumerian version of the Egyptian Book of the Dead. And this basically gives you're basically some of the stuff in this book is this is stuff that like they thought was dead, but somehow still alive, somehow, some way. And you know, as you're gonna see, there's a spell later on in this book that gives these demons. I almost said permit. I almost mixed that up. A permission for possession. I almost mixed up and said gives demons possession for permission. I almost butchered that badly, but I fixed it, and then still fucking said I almost butchered it, but and didn't just move on.
I do like how they set up how like unstoppable these demons are, because he mentions like you can't kill these demons, you can just kind of like imprison them essentially, but like you could still bring them back.
Yeah. And then later on, he listens to it again, and we find out that the only way to like, if you get possessed, to like stop the possession, is by dismemberment type of thing. So basically, you have to like destroy the body, for the most part.
Yeah, and we're gonna see later if you just like stab them or whatever, like they can still come up from that. You gotta like cut them into pieces.
Yeah. Really like this. You know, I like how creepy that it is. I like how the characters feel unsettled from this. You know, Cheryl stops the tape, and Scotty's the only one that really isn't taking this seriously. He's like, "What are you doing? It was just getting good," and she's like, "Yeah, I just don't want to listen to it anymore." So Scott fast forwards to the end, and I like that. You know, this is 1981, but even this equipment was very old. Like you could definitely tell this guy did this research like years ago and everything like that, because you find out that he says later on that his wife got possessed, and he couldn't leave because like the woods. I'm about to go Yellow Jackets here, but the woods wouldn't let him leave. I mean, and it's weird because that's actually the case. It's not a cryptic message. The woods actually didn't let him leave. So,
yeah, funny. Yeah, no, again, fucking the Evil Dead woods versus the Yellow Jackets woods. The Yellow Jackets woods is like the little brother of the Evil Dead woods.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I bet how fuck.
Notebook. Shauna thought she was writing in her diary. She was actually writing in the fucking Book of the Dead.
I love that. But I can't believe I actually said the yellow. I just pulled a Yellow Jackets, and it actually. I can't believe how fucking literal that was. Remember how cryptic it is in Yellow Jackets, and then here it's like literally the woods won't let them leave. So
yeah, they will not let them leave. Yeah.
But it actually is good. This is typical AJ and Owen talks humor, where like we make a serious situation and we fucking laugh at it.
We like a seemingly completely unrelated show, and we fucking like yeah.
But you know, because that's a big thing in Yellow Jackets, so I can't believe we actually got to say it. And it wasn't. It wasn't Yellow Jackets related, and it was like so. We literally took a cryptic thing that like they've been building up for in Yellow Jackets, and like just talked about it like there's a little thing here type of thing.
Like the woods literally will not let them leave. Like come to life and fuck them up.
And you know, Cheryl hysterically is like begging them to shut it off, and doing all of this.
What? So, okay, so this professor guy is a fucking moron because he's like, certain words can resurrect the demons.
Yeah, I don't know why.
And then he actually chanting the words.
I'm recording and left it there.
Yeah, like it seems to work because like we see outside like this is kind of the only time we actually see like a physical thing of like whatever the fuck this is. We see this like red thing kind of like rising out of a leaf pile.
Yeah. I was gonna mention that, like, you know, I don't know why because this becomes like a recurring thing in the Evil Dead franchise where, you know, in the remakes this has happened too, where he's like literally spoken the words on record and like, yeah, great, yeah, just leave that shit out there.
There's words that you should never say, and I'm gonna say them just so you guys know not to say them. But if you ever were gonna say them, this is what these words are.
I mean, again, that's the shitty thing about this movie is this part literally has to be in this movie, or else the movie wouldn't happen. I guess.
Well, I don't know. It's kind of weird because again, like it seems like the demons already could kind of do stuff, but I guess like they had like only a little bit of influence. But like when like these words were chanted, like they got like full control.
Yeah, that's about.
Yeah, they're well, it's also like this professor is obviously gone. Like he's not there anymore. So it makes me like, did the professor like seal up the demons somehow and then he left, or like what happened?
I don't. We never find out. We never find.
Like, it's not a plot hole. It's just left kind of vague, and it makes me curious of like what happened. You know?
Yeah, I just want. Why did you speak these words if you can't be if they can't be spoken type of thing? Like,
Yeah, I don't. This guy's like, this guy says the N word a lot.
Oh, I mean,
Oh, I say this. I guess I'll say it all the fucking time.
I mean, don't forget the AJ when he was probably doing this research, he probably could say the N word all the time, and no, not an issue type of thing. So,
Yeah.
but then a branch like falls through the window, and this freaks out Cheryl. She runs off, and I like this where like Ash sticks up for his sister and mentions like, "Come on, Scott! Like you just don't know where you're taking stuff too far. Like she didn't want to play that. You just don't know." And Scott's just like, "Come on!" She's acting like she's a 3-year-old type of thing. So I did kind of like this. You kind of get like the vibe that Scott kind of took it too far. Really didn't realize it. And that's kind of the end of the scene. Everything just kind of wraps up then. I really like this stuff though. I mean, again, I don't mind. I guess the guy's deciding to speak the words. He can do whatever he wants. He was doing experiments, I guess, but I don't know why you left that on recording. It'd be better if it's like, I wonder what this means type of thing, or like if the words were like written in the book or something, and one of them just read it type of thing.
He started saying the demons weren't happy with him.
Technically, I think one of the words begins with then, so there is an N word in there somewhere. Just not the.
Yeah, there you go. Demons were like, "Damn, you know what? Are the demons really the bad guys? They were trying to stop a racist."
I mean, when Cheryl gets possessed later, they even say like, "Hey, you disturbed our sleep. Like we were just trying to get some Z's."
Yeah, listen, I'd be fucking mad too. It's like it's their day off. They had a long week. They want to fucking get their sleep, and they got woken up.
So that's why everyone
Everyone died. Like it's the only natural response.
one by one.
I see.
One by one too. They wanted to make sure everyone got taken one by one. They weren't going to do it all at once. They wanted to make sure everyone knew what they did was wrong, and they made them all suffer one by one. So
exactly, fair enough. But yeah, we get a little scene between Ash and Linda.
Oh, this is still me. My bad.
Huh?
It's still me. My bad. But yeah, we get a little scene between Ash and Linda, and this kind of I think this is kind of the reveal that Ash is the main character. You could kind of get that vibe anyways, but if you've never seen the movie before, this is kind of the reveal of that. Also,
I kind of figured because the first one was named, we don't actually get everybody else's names until like the scene where they go into the basement.
Yeah,
but like Ash is like car first, and like it's his car and stuff. So you do kind of get the vibe that like Ash is the main character beforehand.
So Cheryl, Ash wants to stay up and listen to the rest of this guy's story because again, from Ash's perspective, he doesn't really know there's any demons out there or anything like that. So he's pretty into it.
In some horror movies, like crazy shit starts happening, and they're like, "Nah, it's nothing. It must have been the wind." But like here, I can get why they didn't like believe anything crazy was happening yet.
Yeah. So Linda is gonna go off and check on Cheryl because fuck. What's her name? Shelly. Apparently, Shelly just gets.
Shelly talks like maybe 3 times.
And one of the time, how many times not possessed though does she talk? That's a good question. Probably once. Maybe it was good that she got possessed because she got some screen time. That's good.
Yeah, that was the only time she got to do anything. There you go.
Maybe the demons actually wanted Cheryl to get some screen time. So like, hey, let's possess her. Linda goes to check on Cheryl. And Ash is kind of, you know, looking over the corner of the wall. And he has he has a box, like a gift box, and he acts like he's sleeping. And then you know, when Linda comes back, she sees that his hand is held out with this box. I thought he was gonna propose, but that's not what happens.
I thought.
Because again, we don't really have a vibe of, we don't know how long they've been together for or anything like that. So, but you know, I like this scene. Linda goes to reach for it, and Ash is acting like he's sleeping, and you know, she keeps opening his eyes, making sure she's gonna grab it, and she keeps looking back. I wouldn't mention this, but this ends up becoming like a big plot point later.
A little thing later. It's not like a huge deal, but they kind of call back to this later on.
And she grabs it, and you know, they kind of banter a bit with like Ash, like, "Oh, it's stealing from the blind, I see." And hey, Ash, you're about to do a lot worse later, so don't be giving it too much shit. But he gives her, and we find out that it's like a necklace. We find out that Ashley got this weeks ago and wanted to give it to her before, but then things were like hectic, so now's the perfect time. We didn't really find out what that meant. I don't know really what that meant, but he put.
I mean, I get like they went on this trip and they were like everyone just got busy.
Yeah, but
I don't think we really need to get much elaboration on it.
I just remember in the remake that I don't think it's Ash, but like the main character's sister has like a huge drug problem. So they couldn't really do much with it. So, again, I went way over the top, but I didn't know what that. I just didn't know what that meant. So, and you know, Shelley seemed like the outcast compared to everybody else. Shelley, yes, I meant to. Cheryl was the outcast compared to everyone else, type of thing. So,
yeah. Well, again, until they say it's Ash's sister, I didn't know why the fuck Cheryl was here. I was like, it's really weird. She came on this like couples retreat kind of thing.
Maybe she was.
Actually, weirder. It's like because you know Ash is going to be banging his girlfriend like in the room next door to Cheryl, and presumably Scott's banging Shelley in the other room, and then meanwhile Cheryl's just do in her own room.
Well, she gets some action later on. Actually, you're about to talk about that.
It's a joke, but I was like, nah, that's too much. But nah, you fucking went for it.
Hey, you brought it up, so I just took it. So, But yeah, she really likes the necklace. It's a really sweet scene. And they put the necklace on, and she even says, "I'm never gonna take it off," type of thing. And I like this because it's like the only real like sweet scene and like the last innocent scene we really get. I mean, legit, the last innocent scene we get in the whole movie, type of thing.
Again, these characters are all they're pretty basic. They're not anything crazy. This is kind of really the only thing to establish that like they're a couple and they love each other. Which, you know, considering how reluctant Ash is to, like, you know, fight Linda later, you kind of need this scene.
Which is really weird because later on it's boom. He full on smacks her in the face later on, but whatever.
Well, I mean, like, I get that because obviously all the crazy bullshit's happening, like lashing out, but yeah.
But, yeah, I like the scene. You know, I like this scene. This scene really stands out a lot more when you see, like, all the crazy shit happen and later on and all that type of stuff. Really establishes Ash as like just a good, pure person and everything like that. So, yeah, good stuff right here. Now you get to talk about when the. I was gonna say that this is what we're about to talk about. The next few minutes, the next few days, even is probably I was gonna say in a good way. One of the most fucked up things we're probably ever gonna talk about on this channel in a good way.
Yeah. Which is kind of funny because I was going to talk about some behind the scenes stuff for this scene. I'll do it after. So we get an outside view of the demon, you know, POV. I like that we get this a lot. You know, again, like we kind of get the POV of the demons, where they're just like watching Linda and Ash, you know, in their bedroom. You know, they're getting undressed. They're gonna, you know, do the deed. But then they kind of back away and then pan over to the next room where it's just Cheryl. Brushing her hair, but then she can kind of like sense something watching her, and it's like, you know, it says like join us. Well, it says that later, but
no, it says it here too.
You know, like she. And then again, I like how Cheryl leaves the room, And then we again cut to the demon like backing away and then like panning to the left again.
Yeah.
And then it's outside and Cheryl, walks outside. Because again, she could like tell somebody's out here watching her, so she like goes out to like see what's up.
Big mistake this was, but
Yeah. I don't know what I don't know why she went up by herself. But yeah, she goes up pretty far out from the cabin. Like, okay, her going outside to check, sure, but she goes pretty far from the cabin, which is really weird.
Yeah.
And she didn't like bring anything with her, like a knife or anything, which is again strange. But yeah, she goes out pretty far out into the woods, and nothing's really happening. But then she just like shouts out, like, "I know you're out there, like whoever you are, like come out, show yourself." And then the demons kind of begin chanting to her, and at this point, like the full-on supernatural stuff starts happening, where a bunch of like vines and tree branches like spring out and like grab her limbs. And at first, I was like, oh, they're restraining her. They're gonna like drag her away by the feet or something. But then it gets like crazy, and I could get this vibe at first, but I didn't think they were gonna full-on do it. So. Because it begins like ripping her like nightgown off, or like her jacket or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
And it like begins like kind of like cutting her a little bit. I was like, oh, is it like undressing her? That's like really like what? And then yeah, it full on like pins her to the ground, like restraining her by the arms and legs. And then it like she's like covering her like breast because obviously her shirt got cut open. Yeah, and then it like removes her hand and like forces it to the ground, and then it like forcibly is like spreading her legs. I was like, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah, they went there.
Yeah, I was really surprised by this. And then yeah, like like one of the vines just kind of like crawls up her leg and presumably like begins like raping her, which I was like, "Fuck!" What?
Yeah, that's fun. I felt that one too. That felt painful, type of thing.
Yeah, I was really surprised by that. Like, because well, again, it's like tree branches and vines. You didn't think they would kind of do that.
Yeah.
And again, I was expecting a more straightforward thing of like, again, they like grab her by the ankles, pin her down, and like drag her off and kill her or something. I'm okay with it. Because I was gonna say behind the scenes stuff. I guess the scene is like controversial. Which a lot of like rape and sexual assault scenes in shows are controversial, obviously because it's a very sensitive subject and you kind of gotta tackle it with some class, I guess you would say. And I think that's fine. Like when I think scenes like that, if you kind of portray them in like a appealing way, it can be tasteless, or like there's not really a good story reason for it. It's tasteless. I think when you kind of show it as like a very horrifying act, it can kind of get the job done. Because again, I feel like them just like killing Cheryl here, it's kind of basic in a way. Like it's a very evil thing. It really shows how fucking horrifying these demons are. Because later on, it like fucks with Ash constantly. Like it could kill Ash at any point later in the movie, but like it wants to torture him and like make him suffer.
Yeah, I feel like.
Sorry.
Yeah, I feel like I'm okay with how this scene was portrayed. I know like a lot of stuff like this, like you said, is very controversial and everything like that. Obviously, if you do like a rape scene and stuff like that, and then just make a huge joke out of it, or don't really talk about the consequences like of it and everything like that, obviously it can be controversial. I'm personally okay with how this scene was shot because again, these demons are very evil and everything like that, and these demons want to seem to torture, not just like the victims, but they want to find a very specific way to torture the victims. Like you said with Ash, they have a very specific way of torturing Ash, type of thing.
Yeah. So yeah. I'm fine with the scene. Again, I don't think it's like disrespectful or anything. I think it like shows how horrifying like of an act this is. And I don't think like scenes like these are taboo. Like it is unfortunately a very real thing. Obviously not with tree branches, but like it's a very real act that is traumatizing to people. So I think like it's not like an off limits thing. I guess the only thing is it's a behind the scenes thing. Is that apparently Cheryl's actress didn't know they were gonna do it this way. So, because obviously, like the tree branches and stuff are like special effects. She didn't know this was a rape scene because I guess like her family and friends went with her to like the premiere of this movie,
Ooh.
and she was like embarrassed when they saw the scene because she didn't know this was like a rape.
I
scene.
can see that. Yeah.
So like, yeah, I think it's fucked up that they didn't like tell her like this was the scene they were filming. That's kind of shitty of like Sam Raimi and like Bruce Campbell and whatever to like not like let her know.
Yeah, especially if a family's gonna go see this movie, and they probably would tell us like they wanted to get their like real reactions, but like if someone's working on your thing, you need to kind of let them know like what the hell is going on with a scene like this.
Yeah. This is like I said, this is a very real and sensitive subject. Like I like Owen when we get to it in Star Wars, when we get the I am your father thing. The only people who knew about it were obviously like the writer and director, Darth Vader's voice actor James Earl Jones, and then Mark Hamill who plays Luke Skywalker. Everybody else, they used a fake line. And instead of Vader saying "I'm your father," he says Obi-Wan killed your father, not me.
So the actor,
they use, and so like Harrison Ford, when he first saw the movie, he turned to Mark Hamill and he's like, "Hey kid, you didn't fucking tell me that." That's kind of a scene where like it's okay to not tell the other actors.
Yeah.
Like the plot twist. This is kind of a thing where you should probably tell the actress like this is what you're doing.
Yeah. That way you don't have the reactions that end up happening and everything like that.
Yeah. Like that is a shitty behind the scenes thing, but like for the scene itself, like I don't think it's wrong to depict this.
Yeah, definitely.
Although I was kind of wondering like what they were going to do with this. I was wondering if like, are the demons going to like kind of to tie into Yellow Jackets again? How Lottie kept saying like the wilderness like wants the child. Like I was kind of thinking like, the woods are going to like possess Shauna's baby or something.
Right.
I was thinking like, are the demons going to try and like impregnate Cheryl or something? But no, I mean, I guess it didn't go that far because obviously of what happens with Cheryl later. They just really wanted to torture her, essentially.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. But Cheryl eventually is able to kind of like break free one of the vines on her hand and then is able to kind of like rip off the rest, and she scrambles to get away. And of course the tree branch and she like at one point like grabs another tree branch to try and like again like pull herself off. The actress did a really good job. She really seemed like she was fighting for her life. And again, when she like scrambles to like get away and like she falls over several times.
Yeah.
Like you could really tell like the fear and horror in her face. And again, considering the actress didn't know this was like a rape scene, she did an amazing job of like coming off as like horror, and like scared.
Yeah, I feel like too the music, like you said, the drama behind this was very good. And this scene was shot very well and everything like that type of thing.
Yeah. So yeah, Cheryl like scrambles to get back to the cabin, and she gets to the door and she like is desperately like banging on the door and like screaming for like Ash to like let her in. And then she eventually remembers like, the key is up like the top of the door, so she's like trying to unhook it from its hook and like get the key. Because Scott mentioned earlier, like, there's a bunch of keys on here. I don't know which one's the right one. So kind of offhanded thing. It tied in where Cheryl's like scrambling to get the right key. And you see the woods, like again from like the POV shot of like darting after Cheryl to get to the woods. And again, I think the woods kind of like was fucking with her again, like just trying to like let her get to the cabin, like just to like torture her later, essentially.
Yeah.
But eventually Cheryl like drops the key, and you think like, oh god, the demon's gonna like get her like right now. But as Cheryl's like scrambling to pick it up, Ash opens the door and like pulls her in. It's like Cheryl, what the fuck happened? Like, why are you covered in like, cuts and stuff?
This is a funny scene too when you watch the movie a few times. the demon, like when Cheryl gets pulled in, has like the sound of like almost like disappointment, like and then like backs away type of thing. It's like
Swiper when you do swiper no swiping. He's like, oh man.
it's just like damn. So it's really fun. Obviously it's a funny first viewing, but when you watch the movie a few times, it's really funny. Just watch the demon just gets close to the door, and then when Cheryl gets pulled in, it goes back like, and you.
In Yellow Jackets, we made the wilderness kind of a goober, where like it keeps killing people and it keeps getting pissed off. He's like, damn, like I didn't want Jackie. Fuck it, she's so annoying. Okay, I'll try to get Travis. Boys club, yeah.
Oh yeah, but
damn it, Travis sucks. I don't fucking like this guy. All right, I'm gonna kill somebody else. Natalie's cool. I'll kill Natalie.
potentially Lottie.
Yeah, potentially Lottie. I mean, I don't know why he wants Lottie.
I don't. Yeah, because now he lost his communication now. So,
yeah, he lost his Wi-Fi signal. He's like, damn it. All right, well, Lottie's a hotspot.
I like how I say hey, it could very well be a woman. We keep saying he. It could be a she. Could be a she.
You're right. Well, and as we established in this scene, the Woods are a guy, probably, considering he just raped a woman.
So the Yellow Jackets Woods is his sister then.
Yeah, you're right. It's his sister.
Not,
okay, yeah. So the threes are female. Okay.
And we're not gonna find out until like midway through the show. Like we didn't find out that Cheryl was Ash's sister until like midway through the movie type of thing. So.
What about the Lorax? Because he speaks for the trees.
Who's that?
The Lorax, from Dr. Seuss.
Probably I'm gonna say brother, because why not?
Yeah, that's their cousin. Yeah. So we got the Evil Dead Woods, his sister, the Yellow Jackets Woods, and their cousin, the Lorax.
And the other like Woods, we need to like. Well, pretty soon there's a movie called Cabin in the Woods that we have to review. We'll have to establish that Woods.
Danny Phantom is going to have an episode pretty soon where his mom and him get stuck in the woods with a bunch of ghosts.
That's right.
That's their cousin. That's the Lorax's wife.
Sure, I like that.
And then episode 1 of Ben 10, which he burns down. That's their other.
Oh,
cousin.
what about the Kelp Force? SpongeBob, in season 3.
That's their mom.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then anything else? I can't think of anything else right now. There's no any Rick and Morty Woods or like Family Guy Woods. We got
again, those woods got burned down by the Fire Nation, or that one guy from that village, and he just that's the dad.
Oh, the swamp. Or does that not count? The swamp. That's alive.
That's their hillbilly.
Huh?
That's their hillbilly cousin.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but let's.
Maddie and Danny Phantom, how her sister's like out living in the woods. Same thing.
That's right. But yeah, let's get back to
Yeah. We gotta stop talking about the fucking family tree of the woods.
But overall, this scene was done very well. Again, I guess just behind the scenes, just next time tell your actress what the scene is, so that way she knows.
Yeah. But yeah. Everyone pulls her in, and they're thinking like, "Oh, like what happened? Did like an animal cut you up?" And she's like, "No, it was like the woods themselves." And they're not really believing her at this point, and they think she's acting hysterical. I do like how Cheryl like doubled down. She is like, "No, we need to leave now, and if you're not leaving, I'm leaving. Like drive me into town."
Yeah.
I do like that. Cheryl like again wasn't like calming down. She's like, "No, I'm leaving."
And I like this too because I watch a lot of horror movies where like the supernatural thing or this drastic thing will happen to people, and they're like, "No, we're not. We're just gonna stay here and be scared of it." Like I like that Cheryl's like, "No, I'm leaving." Like I'm like, "Thank you, Cheryl. You're actually acting like the way someone should act."
Okay, it's a little weird how nonchalant everyone else is, because like, okay, maybe not believing her that the woods came alive is one thing, but like, she is visibly like cut up and her clothes are torn up, like. They should believe something happened,
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, they're all a little too nonchalant because everyone's like, "Ah, come on, like we're not gonna leave now. Like it's so dark, just wait till morning." And Ash is kind of like reluctantly like, "Okay, fine, I'll drive you to town." And he goes up to the car with her and he tries to start the car, but the engine isn't starting. And Cheryl's like, "Oh, just stop! Like, it's not gonna let us leave." But then, as soon as she says that, the car starts, and Ash kind of gives her a look of like, "Oh, see, you're acting crazy." I can kind of get that, yes, where like he thinks Cheryl's like being over dramatic, and then the car starts. Actually,
I liked they established earlier the car didn't work because obviously then it's like wondering if it's supernatural. I'm wondering if this actually was supernatural. It was like the demons torturing Cheryl.
I the demons were making them think the car wasn't going to work, and then let it work again to like really make them think they might get away.
Yeah, especially Cheryl.
Yeah, because again, they drive a little bit, and again, they're thinking they're going to get down just fine. But then they stop. Ash gets out, and Cheryl's like, "What? Do you see something?" And Ash like walks away. Okay, so this is interesting. So I thought this was all fake. This was like a dream because we get this kind of weird shot where like Scott and the other two girls are like staring at them drive away, and they're kind of like smiling. And as they go back inside, and then, like the inside is like really light.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, oh, is this like a dream? Like this isn't actually them, and the demons are like tricking Cheryl.
Right.
But no, it is actually them.
And this makes sense why Ash gets out, because if you remember earlier, he saw like the bridge was like on collapse and everything like that. So I can just
like going to go check. But yeah, Cheryl gets out to go see what's up with Ash, and she walks towards the bridge, and she sees that like it's completely collapsed. Like there's no way, like they're not going to be able to cross it. Like it's completely caved in.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cheryl begins walking towards the car again, and she's obviously like freaked out. And again, I'm kind of describing it blandly, but like again, the atmosphere, the camera work, the music, it's all like making it really creepy, and like you don't know what's going to happen. And then Ash like pops up all of a sudden, and he's like, "Hey, Cheryl, it's okay, it's just me." But Cheryl just like collapses to the ground crying because she knows that like it's not going to let them leave.
Yeah.
Like Ash just said, "Oh, the bridge collapsed. Like it's fine. We'll figure out another way when it gets light." But Cheryl knows that like the woods is like what caused the bridge to collapse.
Yeah, so I really like this. Makes it really. It puts the characters in like an unescapable situation. Now you're wondering like how the hell are they going to get out of this and all this type of stuff.
Because we're gonna there is a way down. Because Scott says like there's a trail, but like again, it's dark and like there's no way they would be able to like get down the trail on foot, especially again with the trees actually fucking attacking them.
Yeah. So,
back to the cabin. It's kind of sad. This is really the only scene we get left with Cheryl. It's her like breaking down, crying, like knowing that like they're fucked essentially.
Yeah, it's really Cheryl's last scene, which is really sad.
Because she gets possessed, but like we don't actually see when she gets possessed.
Yeah. So,
so I am kind of curious how it possessed Cheryl, because with Linda, we see like it like kind of like possessed her through like a cut she got.
Yeah.
And with Scott, like he dies, and then like it like possesses his corpse. And then like I guess with Shelly, it like attacks her, and then we don't see how she gets possessed, but I guess like attacked her and killed her from there. With Cheryl, we don't really get to see how it possesses her.
Yeah, they wanted I think they wanted to get the shock of seeing her possessed for the first time. They wanted it to be a big surprise. If I had to make a guess, it was either the rape or like again she got cut up real bad by the trees and stuff. That could have been it too.
Yeah, I guess we got the. I wish we got to find out a little bit more about how it works.
Yeah, me too. Then back at the cabin, everything seems all peaceful for the moment. Scott is chopping firewood. This was a really good like jump shot to this, because when the axe scene happened, like, oh, did something just happen there? But no, it was just Scott chopping firewood. Ash is listening to more of the tape because obviously I think he's curious about it, and he hears the narrator talk about, or the scientists talk about dismemberment and everything like that. I just want to make sure I get the name. Shelly and Linda are playing. I don't know the game they're playing, but Linda's guessing like codes, and Shelly's obviously like bullshitting and makes Linda think she's guessing the codes like correctly. So Linda thinks she has like.
Yeah. Linda gets is like Shelly's holding a 7, and we see like she's holding an 8. But Shelly's like, "Oh my god, you got it!"
This is really funny too, because this is like a really popular thing on social media nowadays, where like, somebody will ask somebody something like, "What is this?" and like someone will say what they think is the right thing, like, "Oh my gosh, you got it," and then like like the audience on social media can like see that's not what it is. It's really weird. Like we watched this movie right when that trend.
Yeah. Well, again, I like this. Again, kind of establishing that they're like friends. They're kind of just like joking around, bullshitting each other. Like I thought this is a very friend thing you would do. We kind of just make them think.
Yeah.
They're right. With them.
But then, not Linda, Cheryl, starts guessing the codes exactly right, and she can't even see the code. She's just looking out the window and everything like that. And at one point, Shelly's not even like flipping the codes anymore. She's just like in shock, and Cheryl's still getting the codes right. And then she turned.
And then as she's talking and like listing the cards, her voice is getting like deeper and more distorted.
Yeah, and she turns around and we see that she's been completely possessed. Her eyes are like really red, almost rolled into the back of her head. Her face has, is very demonized and everything like that. And possessed Cheryl talks about how, again, the demons are just upset that the sleep was disturbed. It's like, you guys disturbed my sleep, and now one by one, you all are gonna die. And Cheryl is full on levitating here. Again, this is probably the only scene in the movie where it doesn't translate too well nowadays, because again, you could totally tell it doesn't look like too legit or anything like that, because again, it's the 1981 low budget.
Yeah, but like I do kind of like how she's not just like levitate. Like she kind of looks like a puppet. Like her arms are kind of, and her like head is like tilted.
Yeah,
like it does. She's not just like flying. She looks like she's being puppeted.
Yeah, and obviously Ash and all and both Linda and Shelly get creeped out by this, and she falls to the Cheryl falls to the ground and is knocked out essentially. And Scott comes in. I like that he's even creeped out by this. He's very somber, even asking like what happened to her. And like the characters don't really know what to make of it. So Linda walks over and now you see that her hands are all messed up too, type of thing. And you see that she grabs a pencil and she stabs Linda in the foot. And I'm going to guess she has like supernatural like strength, because obviously getting stabbed with a pencil is pretty bad, but obviously the demon.
Yeah, later on, like Scott, when he gets possessed, like lifts Ash up like above the ground with one hand, and like later Cheryl's like punching through the wood doors, so like presumably getting possessed gives them like superhuman strength.
Yeah. So because she's able to like fully stab through her foot, and like Linda's foot is gushing blood, and she collapses to the floor. And during all of this, Ash tries to step in, and he gets knocked and thrown into a shelf. This is like the first of like 3 times Ash gets thrown into like a fucking shelf. Like I felt bad for this kid.
Yeah, it's backhanded a lot in this. And like thrown at the bookshelves. Yeah,
and like the bookshelves like fall on top of him. And Scott is.
Ash later burns that book. He didn't do it because he thought he would like save him. He's just like, you know what? If I'm gonna die, fuck books.
I would fuck bookshelves too, that type of thing. Because I guarantee you, if Ash survives the end of this movie, he's never gonna own a fucking bookshelf in his house, type of thing. He's gonna burn all bookshelves. And Scott's trying to talk down Cheryl, and obviously Cheryl, because she's possessed, like knocks elbows Scott, and he flies into, and he gets launched into a wall. And Cheryl's really going after Ash, and eventually Scott recovers and uses the end of the axe to like knock out Cheryl. And you could see like this doesn't even like, you could definitely tell these demons are very supernatural, because again, one shot really didn't do much. Like it took like Scott like 3 shots to even like knock the possessed Cheryl to the ground, and he knocks her into the basement. And Scott chains up the basement so that way Cheryl can't get out. And at this point now, like doing this whole attack, like Cheryl's really become like demonized. Like her eyes are bloodshot. She's become like almost like witch-like her hair is just like a mess and like decayed and everything like that. Her hands are decayed. Her skin's decayed. Yeah, Cheryl just really, she's almost like she's like the face of death pretty much at this point.
Yeah.
And let's see, is this still me? Yeah, I'll just keep talking here because I'll let you take over when we get to that part. So then a few minutes go by, and we see that Ash just put Linda to bed, and he comes in and kisses her. And on top of the head. And then when he goes outside, we get the POV shot from possessed Cheryl. And Shelly's like wondering, because Shelly's got to actually pull some weight now. She's got to actually like talk because Linda's out of commission and Cheryl's possessed. So she's got to actually get some lines in there and everything like that. Got to put a.
She's gonna get possessed soon. She's like, fuck it, might as well talk once before I die.
And obviously Shelly's like wondering like what the hell happened, like what happened to her eyes and everything like that. And the cast are kind of wondering like what to do, so they're gonna wait it out and just gonna like try to leave in the morning because they think they can just leave through the bridge, but Ash doesn't say it, but Ash kind of gives this look like they kind of know like okay, they can't really get out through the bridge, so they're gonna leave by the morning. And doing this, we see the wilderness, well, the Evil Dead wilderness, not the wilderness we know. Is looking off in the distance and is approaching them, and Shelly senses there's something out there, and Scott's kind of trying to calm her down and tells her like to go to bed, like we're gonna figure this all out in the morning. And yeah, I really like the scene a lot. I like the first possession of Cheryl, very creepy, and we should just talk about how significant this was for the time. Obviously back then, not a lot of people saw stuff like this, which was very creepy at the time. And obviously would scare anybody if they had seen it at the time, because this is obviously stuff that they hadn't really seen before. Like, I know The Exorcist was a thing and everything like that, but this was nothing like The Exorcist. These demons are a little bit more tortured and everything like that. So, what did you think of this scene and everything like that? Seeing Cheryl get possessed and then the attack and everything like that.
Yeah, very creepy. Again, I like how she's obviously the levitating doesn't look good, but I like how she's like puppeted. I like how it's like she's not just like a zombie. Like she continues to like mock them.
Yeah,
and acts like like she like has all of Cheryl's memories. And yeah, I like how like her face is all fucked up, and they put her in the basement. And then again, Shelly's like, look at her eyes, and then we see that like Cheryl keeps transforming. Like she looks more and more inhuman. Like before, her eyes were like rolled into the back of her head, and now her eyes are like pure red, and like her hair's gone like witchy like it's all like frizzled and like it's gray now.
What are you talking about,
like, skin's
AJ? That's totally how a normal human being looks. I've seen like 5 human beings that look like that. Come on.
I don't know what kind of girls you're seeing, but and it was different strokes, different folks.
They're with the monkey tail boys that I got in my backyard. 5 of those I got back there. So.
Yeah, man, those I don't know what. And the flying bison is out there too, and along with the boys in the icebergs.
Yeah, it's totally normal things to be seen out there.
Yeah. Now, if those boys in the icebergs had monkey tail, then it'd be weird.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, but they're obviously freaked out about what's going on, and they're not really sure what to do because again, they're talking about leaving in the morning, but Shelly's obviously freaked out, but Scott kind of like walks her away, away from Cheryl. He's like, "Hey, listen, get some sleep." And it's kind of the only scene where we get to see where like Scott and Linda are like, it's not Linda, Shelly are like a couple because again, Shelly talks like once before this.
Yeah, I do like the reaction of the characters too. Like they're like in shock by seeing all this. So some of them will sit there like.
Yeah, it's like, none of them really believe the supernatural shit, but obviously, like they can't really deny it now.
Do you think Taissa would believe this? I don't think so.
Be in doubt.
She's like, nah, that's totally normal. Again, like I said, I've seen 5 women that look like that like last week.
Yeah. She's like, no. She's a girl with no eyes. If it was a man with no eyes, then she'd believe it. But because Cheryl's a girl, then it's like, no.
Gotta be sexist there.
As soon as Scott got possessed, he became a man with no eyes. Then she believed
Yeah.
it.
Well, he wasn't a man with no eyes yet. Az took care of that for him.
Now, you know what you did? You're right. Ash made him the man with no eyes.
Making his own demon, I see.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, I really like this scene.
Oh, that's a good catch. That's a really good catch. But yeah, Shelly goes to her room. I think this was kind of dumb. Like, stay together in this situation. But I guess I kind of get it. She was obviously very upset, and Scott was trying to like calm her down. And for now, they're waiting till morning, so he just wants her to get some sleep. And she wasn't just in the next room, so I guess it's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Shelly's gonna get some sleep, and then this is interesting. We see again like a POV shot of like the demons, and like spying on Shelly. And you think again like it's maybe gonna like lure her outside, but no, it's just full on like breaks through the window and like shatters the window.
Mm-hmm.
So this is interesting. Like the demons can just like full on break into the house whenever they want.
Yeah, which makes me want, and again, I feel like it's given the demons some good character because it's like, okay, if it like could have done this to Cheryl if they really like wanted to, and then like didn't type.
And well, again later on with Ash, it's just kind of like fucking with them, like it's like causing like the shutters to like smack against the windows.
Yeah.
At the very end of the movie, it breaks through like all the doors.
Yep.
So like again, the demons could break into the house whenever it wants, but like it really wants to torture these people.
Yeah, definitely.
And like again, pick them off one at a time. So Shelly screams.
And
Scott and Ash are like, "What?"
And don't forget, Shelly's got no character, so the demon's got nothing to work with when it comes to how do you torture like Shelly because you got that.
Yeah, well, I took Cheryl. Fuck it, I guess I'll take Shelly. She's a character, I guess.
How do we?
She get. Right?
It'd be funny.
Well, no, it got Cheryl, and it's like, oh yeah, fuck, I totally forgot about Shelly. Okay, yeah, I guess I'll get her next.
And the demons are like having a conversation, like a staff meeting, like, okay, like what do we know about Shelly so we can like torture her? Like, well, it's
like nothing really. I guess we'll just kill her.
No, one of them just goes rogue and decides like, fuck it, I'm just running in, like.
Yeah, going it. Yeah. At the very least, I'll torture Scott, but Scott kills her, like, not giving a fuck.
I like to think this was like a demon in training, the one that possessed Shelly. Like, this was just them training.
All the demons are like, no, come on, you're supposed to torture them first. You killed her too quickly. Goddamn.
Or like this was one of the demons that like was weak, like one of the weak demons, like on on the like on the bottom of the director's like list of AIs type of thing. So it's like,
yeah, this is like fucking fucking I don't know, Ohio.
Yes.
It's like, goddamn. This is why you're not getting any AIs, demon.
Oh my gosh! Imagine these demons with AIs, how worse off they would have been. Like, I don't think.
I mean, they're already fucked. Like, even more fucked.
Super fucked.
Yeah. But yeah, Shelly screams, and then Scott goes in looking for her. And again, we kind of just like very like tense scene where Scott's looking around trying to find Shelly.
A lot of basic horror movie stuff here. Where like,
so the room's completely torn open. Like the bed's messed up and like the window's been completely bashed in. He looks in the closet. She's not there. He goes into the bathroom, opens up the curtain. Again, not there. But then he turns around as he's leaving. And then she gets like jumped from behind.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what the hell was she? Like, I don't know whether.
Yeah. I was really expecting that like when he opened up the closet, like she'd be behind the door or something. Like she was outside and then she came in when the door was open.
Yeah.
But no, she just kind of fucking appears out of nowhere.
Again, this is a demon in training. I forgot to use this joke earlier. This is like that scene. That demon jumping in. Was like, when you're trying to make a plan of a strategy in COD, and then one of your friends like, no, you just ran in.
Leroy Jenkins.
Yes.
But yeah, and Ash has just been chilling in the living room. He's just vibing. He's just kind of tuning out. All of a sudden, fucking Scott comes in with Shelly like on top of him. He's like, "Oh my god, get her the fuck off me!"
Yeah.
Ash tries to be a hero, but again, he gets fucking backhanded and thrown into a bookshelf again.
How many bookshelves does this place have? It's got a lot.
There's no bookshelves, but as soon as Ash gets flung through the air, then it automatically spawns in a bookshelf for him to ram into.
Oh no, I like to think, Scott bought this place, and like Scott like told him like, hey, I just got a couple of friends named Ash sitting here. The people built these bookshelves just knowing Ash was going to be staying there, type of thing.
Yeah, I love that. I love that idea. But yeah, this isn't even a demon thing. Ash is just like always in his life smacking into bookshelves.
Yeah, and the demon just makes it worse.
Yeah. But yeah, Shelly's really clawing into him. But again, Scott's kind of fighting her off. Again, Ash is pretty useless in this scene, but like it's kind of a step because he's like horrified. Like, he's pinned down by the bookshelf. Because like Shelly knocks Scott to the ground, and Scott knocks her to the ground, and she like ends up going into like the fire,
yeah.
And Scott like drags her out because he's thinking like, oh my god, like Shelly, I gotta save you. And then Shelly like pops back up, like, thank you. My pretty skin was burning. Like I need your skin because it's like so pretty and nice.
I guess so. Yeah.
But Cheryl's just kind of in the basement, like cheering on. Like, cheering this on, like, yeah. She's like a sports fan.
No, really, she was, because she was like going up and down, like, and like opening like almost like the door or whatever. She was like loving this type of thing.
Yeah, and this is kind of so throughout the like later on, she like full on like busts out the chains and like the hinges of the door. But like you see her throughout the movie, like slowly pushing up the door more and more.
Yeah.
So when that happens, you kind of see that in this scene, where like before she couldn't get the door open at all. Now she's kind of slowly like inching her way out more and more.
Yeah, I like that it was like a slow progression versus like she wasn't getting it open at all, and then all of a sudden she like did, or like
full on busted out in like one go. Like throughout the movie, she was slowly pushing it up.
It really shows how strong the demons are too, type of thing. Like, but I like they're not like, I guess, overpowered. I guess.
Infinitely strong, like they're superhuman, but they're not like the fucking Hulk. It took her a while to do it.
But still, that's supernatural because no one should be able to fucking do that in that amount of time.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, the demon is like strangling Scott, but I like how we saw this earlier when he was like chopping the wood. He had like a little pocket knife on his belt. He took it and cut Shelly's wrist really bad. I thought it was gonna be stupid if he like full on took her hand off in one go, but no, he just cut her really bad.
Yeah.
It was interesting. The demon like started to like be the one who like cut and chew her own hand off.
Yeah, it was very gruesome, and I like this because Ash recovers from this, and like when this happens, like Scott and like Ash are like really shocked that like the demon's like doing this. Like just shows how fucked up this is and everything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Scott, because Shelly was trying to like kill him with like the sword they found in the basement, and he takes this opportunity to like grab the sword and like stab her in the back. Yeah,
and it seemed like the sword hurt her a lot. Like this sword hurts these demons quite a bit.
Yeah, and then we see like the end of the sword it has like a little skull on it, and it kind of like sizzles and like make noise. So it seems like the sword is like extra effective on like the demons. Yeah. And they think this got Shelly down, but no, Shelly like pops up again. After she's been like stabbed in the back.
Yeah.
And again, if you remember the tape recorder, it like says like you have to dismember them. But again, it shows how fucking strong these demons are. Like you can't like just cut their hands off or light them on fire, or fucking stab them. You gotta like full on come into pieces.
Yeah.
Shelly gets up and like starts walking towards Scott and Ash,
And Ash is just in shock. Like he's like,
Yeah, Scott's like telling Ben like killer, 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 and Ben is not fucking Ben. Ash is just like standing there like horrified, like he's like frozen up. So Scott kind of just grabs the axe from Ash and starts like killing Shelly. And the demon is like shocked by this. He's like, "No, stop! You love her. You love her." So clearly, like they possessed Shelly to try and fuck with Scott. Like because they thought Scott would like hesitate to kill Shelly, but Scott's like just fucking full on freaked out. He's just like so horrified. He like doesn't even care. He's just like chopping her over and over and over again.
I really like this because it shows because this comes in handy later. It really shows the different in characters of like Ash and like Scott.
Yeah, well, Ash was like frozen with fear, and Scott was just like, obviously he didn't want to do this, but he's just like so horrified. He's just like, so desperate for his own life.
Yeah. So I really like this. I really like this a lot. Where Scott's kind of willing to take these measures to save his life. Where Ash, I think, will take these measures, but obviously he's pure-hearted, and he
it takes him longer to get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas Scott, we're gonna find out a little bit, especially that Scott can be pretty ruthless.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll talk about this scene and then we'll, call it for today.
Sure.
But yeah, we see that even I feel like we get another POV shot from Shelly where you see like as like Scott's like just chopping her up over and over, and we see like the blood going over her eyes.
Yeah.
Or like the camera. And then we see that like after Scott's done, Shelly's been cut into pieces. Her limbs and body are still like moving.
Yeah.
Which is like really.
They're very creepy.
But they're standing there horrified, and Scott's like, "Okay, we got to bury her." Presumably, so like she can't like get up again. But Ash is like, but we can't do that. She's like our friend. Like, what we But Scott's like, no, we have to do it. So again, showing how different Scott and Ash are, where Ash is like horrified by this and doesn't think they can bury her because again, he thinks Shelly's her friend. But Scott, who's her boyfriend, is like, no, we have to fucking do it.
Yeah, because he realizes too, like, Shelly's gone by this point. There's really nothing there. It's just a demon now at this point.
Yeah.
So
we get a really creepy, like fucked up scene shot where Ash and Scott are like have like wrapped her in a blanket, and we see like the bloody blanket, and they're like dragging it outside, and they bury it.
I didn't think they'd go this far. Like I thought it would just be like a quick thing, but they kind of it's a pretty quick scene, but they spend more time on it than I thought they would have.
Run it for a minute and a half, like where we see them like dig the hole and throw her in it and bury her.
Yeah.
Again, you would think they just do this off screen, but no, they linger on it a little bit,
which I don't mind. I like it.
Well, yeah, smart of them. Again, they saw that like Shelly can still kind of move even after all of her limbs are cut off. So it makes sense that they would kind of take this extra step of like, okay, we got to bury her.
Yeah. And then
and I mean, one extra scene real quick because it's pretty quick. Scott leaves.
Yeah, I think that's me, right?
Yeah, and then we'll call it after this.
So, Scott decides, that they need to find a way to like get into town. Like they need to get away from this and everything like that. So Scott decides like, we have to get out of here. We have to leave. And Ash obviously is telling them like, look, we can't leave anyways because the bridge is destroyed. We have no way around it. And Scott's, trying to piece together like there has to be another way out of here. Like there has to be a hiking trail. There has to be something. And Ash is trying to reason with Scott because like, Linda is still alive and is wounded, and she can't like stand up, and she can't even get up to like walk or anything like that.
Yeah.
And Scott's like, well, what? Maybe we can just leave, and then let's send somebody, to come back and help.
Well, I do like how he kind of like he says like, okay, we'll leave her, and then he kind of like pauses for a second, and then he says like, oh, and then we'll send somebody up later. You know, like his first thought was like, "Oh, we'll just leave her," but then he kind of like tried to reason with Ash a little bit by being like, "Okay, but we'll come back for her later."
But obviously, that's not going to be any useful to them because, like, you know, Linda could be, as we're going to see, like dead or possessed herself, type of thing. And again,
Yeah. He's pretty much just saying, "Let's ditch her," but like, you know, like we'll come back for her later.
And then at this point, Ash is like, "Look, we can't leave Linda. We're just gonna have to let it blow off till morning." And at this point, Scott's, you know, because Scott's lost everything, I guess, and you know, he's like, "Look, she's your sister and your girlfriend. This isn't my problem anymore." And you know, Scott just decides to like leave, and so we had.
Yeah. So this, I don't know. I get that he obviously just been through a very traumatic thing of just having to kill his own girlfriend. And obviously he's like afraid for his life. He wants to get the fuck out of there. But I don't know. This is kind of dumb because like I obviously staying there isn't a smart decision, but like leaving on your own is even dumber.
Yeah. I guess he was just afraid of his life, so he wanted to get out of there.
Yeah.
But
it kind of shows who he is as a person, you know, because again, I mean, obviously Ash like was like even under the circumstances is like, no, we're not leaving Linda, we're not like leaving Cheryl, like we'll just stick around for a little bit till morning and then we'll all leave together. But Scott's like, no, like again, he was like trying to like he was 100% willing to leave Linda, but he kind of tried to justify it a little bit of like, hey, we'll come back later. But once Ash still argued with him, he just like was falling like, look, I'm leaving her and I'm leaving you.
Kind of shows you he cares more about his life than anybody else's life, type of thing.
And again, that kind of shows that like how willing he was to kill Shelly.
Yeah.
Whereas again, girlfriend, and whereas that was just Ash's friend, but Ash was the one who was like hesitant to do anything.
Yeah, really, I do like this scene a lot just because it shows the difference in characterizations in Ash.
Again, like, really blame Scott. Okay, well, I can blame him for wanting to ditch Linda and Ash. You know, I can blame him a little bit for that.
Yeah. And I guess leave it on his own. Like, once he saw that Ash and Linda weren't... Well, Ash wasn't going to go with him. He really couldn't go by himself, type of thing. But, you know, I like that this actually did bite him in the ass. Like, he made a poor decision and he paid for it, type of thing, as we're going to talk about.
Yeah. This is obviously a very bad decision, but, like, I can believe it. Again, he just went through a very traumatic thing. He's horrified for his life. And, like, yeah, leaving on his own is a dumb decision, but, like, again, also staying there is bad, too. So it's kind of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing.
And that's where we'll end it, you know. We'll come back to the rest of the movie later. We hope you guys are enjoying this video so far. And, you know, AJ and I are totally not going to come back on a different day. It's going to be all one day. And, you know.
Totally. If it's time of day and we're wearing different clothing, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, just shut up. But we'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Kind of a weird coincidence. AJ and I are wearing the same clothes as yesterday, so we're slobs. Everything's almost the exact same, except it's light outside, and the only way you would know that is through AJ's end, because my end's just a random white wall.
I was about to say, if we just use your visuals, then yeah, you can't even tell. But yeah.
But we want to...
You know, a little recap for 5 seconds ago. Shelley's dead. R.I.P. Shelley, the most impactful character in all of moviedom. And Scott said, "Fuck y'all, I'm leaving."
Yep. But before we get to kind of a little intermission here, because we wanted to tell the story in the cold open yesterday, but we forgot, and we didn't really remember, and then we talked about it off camera, like after we did record it. But I think this is kind of a cool story to tell, because the YouTube gods and like video editing gods will usually smile on AJ and I, so we want to make sure we give it its credit when it does smile on us. Kind of funny we're talking about that, since, you know, this is about the very opposite of God. It's like the devil type of thing, but whatever. Yeah. If you believe in that stuff, anyways. But yeah. So AJ and I usually don't really have good timing when it comes to doing videos. The most egregious example of that is years ago, before the pandemic. AJ and I were talking, hey, we're going to review Pulp Fiction. And Pulp Fiction had been on Netflix for, like, years. Like, never off Netflix. It had been on there, probably since Netflix started or whatever type of thing.
Been on there for a while. Yeah.
And then, like, the second AJ and I speak it into existence that we're going to do Pulp Fiction, it got taken off Netflix, like, that week, I think, too. Like, we weren't going to review it that week, but, like, we kind of spoke it into the universe that we were going to, like, do it type of thing. And that's happened with others.
Kind of a trend. Like, I know, like, when we started doing Ben 10 was going to leave Netflix, and, like, a couple other examples of, like, shows and movies. We're going to do it, and then Netflix takes it off.
I mean, a recent example, even though it ended up working out, you know, obviously we put off doing Yellow Jacket season 3 for a while, and of course when we finally decide to do it, there's an issue on my end where, like, I don't have the premium Paramount Plus, so I can't even watch it type of thing. Obviously that got sorted out, but that's another example. So this time, really funny, it's the YouTube gods, because again, this is about demons and everything like that, but when we speak into existence that we're going to do Evil Dead, it goes on Paramount Plus, and I mean, this one kind of isn't egregious because obviously Halloween's, but it really worked out that of all the movies they decided to put on Paramount Plus, Evil Dead was one of them that got put there, which is pretty good timing for us and everything like that type of thing. So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the, I enjoy the fact that, like, for once the YouTube gods decided to smile on us. And this is kind of good because this gave me time to get my notes up. So, yeah, like I said, we're at, Scott just left, and Ash is by himself for the most part with Linda, but Linda's out of commission. So this is going to be pretty interesting. I think, too, this is when this happens. Ash comes back in, and we get another POV shot of Cheryl, possessed Cheryl. This is really cool because she's, like, taunting Ash, saying, like, if you become like this, am I just gonna have to, like, lock you in the cellar? Like, this kind of I like this stuff just because, this is the first time, like, we've seen, like, demons kind of have personalities and, like, torture like the main characters and everything like that. So I think this is really cool. And the fact that, we're seeing that these demons have, like, personalities and everything like that. We had already kind of seen it before, but that's more like, coming back to it. You didn't really know this. This is kind of like when you're really starting to see it with Shelly, who, actually gained a personality being possessed. And then now you're seeing it with Cheryl type of thing. Ash goes in to check on Linda, and, he undoes the covers, takes the covers off of her, and, obviously we see that she has this cut, and, then the cut just gets, like, weird. It, like, forms, like, a devil, like, circle with, like, a bunch of spider webs and everything like that, and, yeah, at this point, you pretty much know, like, yeah, she got possessed. I kind of knew this was gonna happen, because, again, I've seen the other Evil Deads before this, and I remember, like, if you get, like, an open wound, that's how, like, the demons, take over. But again, first viewing for you, AJ, I assume this took you kind of by surprise. I'm just guessing here, because obviously you're not really sure how this works. And probably for the time, this was really surprising. And Linda gets possessed, and we see that the eyes are in, like, the back of her head and everything like that, and she's like, has, like, a demon smile and everything like that. What did you think of this scene? Because, again, I don't think you knew, like, if you got a cut, you could get, like...
Again, I kind of figured Linda was going to bite the dust, since it was just Ash and her left at the cabin. But I didn't expect that she was essentially already possessed since she got stabbed, Or, like, it seemed like it had a delayed effect, because, yeah, he checks on the stab wound, and then it immediately, like, begins to, like, you see, like, cracks all around her body, and, like, she transforms.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, wow. And again, it kind of shows the demons are just fucking with them. Like, they could have done that to her at any point, but they wanted to, like, essentially catch Ash by surprise and, like, by transforming her.
Yeah. And yeah, Ash backs away. And again, as we talked about, this demon clearly could just kill Ash if it really wanted to. But this is kind of like when something's kind of up here, because the demon doesn't possess Linda, doesn't approach Ash really. Like, you get, like, this really cool shot where you just see Ash, like, looking through, like, the door, and the demon doesn't go up to him or anything like that. And then Scott shows back up again, and we talked about how Cheryl got wrecked in the woods. Scott is like worse off than like Cheryl was. Like he's really beat up bad. His face is all like bloody. His leg, one of his legs, we see is like cut up real bad. Like he really got like
He's like a branch impaled in his gut.
yeah.
Yeah, he's bad. I will say the like makeup on his face is a little eh.
But against low budget 1981.
Yeah.
I'm not
Stello.
I'm not gonna use I'm not gonna use the timeline as excuse. I think it's more low budget than it being 1981 type of thing. So
yeah, I think Star Wars had better like makeup effects, and that was before this. So, and that was pretty low budget too.
yeah.
And then yeah, like you said, you can tell something's up because like when Ash is like checking on Scott, you see like in the hallway, like doorway, Linda's just like sitting there, like giggling and laughing. Like it's not like attacking them; it's just fucking laughing at them.
Yeah. I really like this scene. This scene really took me by surprise. Not like a jump scare thing, but like, oh my gosh, like because I didn't expect we weren't gonna like Scott was gonna show back up not long afterwards, like in this type of shape and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I will say it is a little weird because or like jarring because like it's literally the next scene where he shows back up, so it feels like he like left for like 2 minutes and then got fucked up and came back. But like presumably it's been like a couple hours.
Yeah. But Scott, is really in pain. He really can't talk much, but he's just like he kind of finally like realizes like how fucked they are. Pretty much talking about like Cheryl was right. We can't leave. Like the woods won't let us leave and everything like that. And Ash is kind of trying to reason with him. He's still kind of like hopeful, and he's trying to get Scott to give him information because obviously they can't get through the bridge. And even Scott says like, yeah, there's a way around the bridge. But again, I think Scott's just kind of lost all hope because one, I think he senses he's near death pretty much. And he even starts to like say, like, I don't want to die here, Ash. There's so much I want to do and all that type of stuff. And at this point, possessed Cheryl starts like mocking, Scott and Ash, like, and mimics him, being like, I don't want to die type of thing. And then possessed Linda starts laughing at him, and like Sin saying like, we're gonna get you, all that type of thing. And then obviously this is like hurting like Scott. Like obviously he's in pain, but the fact that like the demons and everything like that are like mocking them, I think it's hurting him a lot too and everything like that. And then like the really unexpected scene from Ash here, he finally like lashes out and like backhand Linda like across the face and slaps her and says like, and telling her to shut up because again she's just laughing at him hysterically and everything like that.
And he smacked her a few times. He went like, ugh. Like you could tell he was like just again so like desperate, scared. He was just lashing out.
Yeah, and again, if Linda wasn't possessed, she probably would have like fallen to the floor and all that type of stuff. But obviously here, because she's possessed, she's taking this like a champ, I guess, type of thing. Huh?
I said she's got the granny chin. She should have went in the boxing.
Yeah. But let me see. Let me make sure this is like still me. Okay. But then doing all this, I think Ash has like finally had enough, and he takes the gun, and even Scott's imploring like, yeah, kill her, and Ash was I think gonna pull the trigger. He was like thinking about it, and I think he definitely would have pulled the trigger had what happened next not happened, and he was even like begging God for forgiveness. But then Linda like puts her head down when she comes back up. She's like back to her old self, and she's like pleading with Ash to like help her, like don't let them take me and all that type of stuff. And Ash obviously lowers the gun and obviously feels remorseful. He's like, look, I'm not gonna let them take you. I'm gonna help you and everything like that. Obviously, the audience knows that the demons are just messing with Ash at this point. And then underneath we hear that Cheryl presumably went back to normal, and is like telling Ash like, look, you can let me out of here now. I'm okay. I'm all better now and everything like that. And I think this is when Ash kind of like gets skeptical. He's like considering it. You know, he gets the keys out to like unlock the cellar, and he's like, but just to make sure, he like looks down the cellar, and then possessed Cheryl's arms come out and grabs Ash by the throat, and then obviously she goes back to being possessed and like mocks him and everything like that. And Ash has to like, you know, kick her hands away and stomp on him. And Linda's gone back to being possessed. And even Ash is saying this because he's like, why the hell are you torturing me like this? Like, this is really like messed up for Ash because again, the demons, you know, now aren't really, doesn't really seem like they want to even like kill Ash or anything like that. They seem like they just want to torture him. And I really felt for Ash here. You know, I felt really bad for him because again, he was the one that was like really pure and everything like that. And he's really getting doubly like tortured and everything like that. Makes me wonder, is this one of the ways that director Church tortured Alpha? You know, this is pretty messed up.
I could see that. You know, I could see Church being a big horror movie fan. You know, took a little inspiration from this.
What's Church? Because you didn't say it's director or Alpha.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's the same guy, so I guess so. But yeah, you know, what did you think of? Well, I guess I'll talk about the next thing. Then eventually, Ash lashes out and pulls possessed Cheryl like outside, and possessed Cheryl is still like mocking him and everything like that. I really like this scene because you know when Ash is like pulling her, she's like still laughing hysterically and just really mocking like Ash because you know the demons are also mocking Ash because he's having this like conflict about like not wanting to kill like his friends and all this type of stuff.
When it looks like Linda and Cheryl are like not possessed anymore.
What do you mean? What it looks like?
Remember, like Linda's like, "Oh, Ash, like I'm okay now," and then like Cheryl's in the basement, like, "Oh, guys, I'm okay now. You can let me out."
Yeah.
And then like Cheryl, like, did you say that?
I did talk about that already. Yeah.
Sorry, I must have missed him.
But yeah, Ash, you know, pulls Cheryl outside and just closes up the door and locks it. And you know, at this point, Ash is trying to comfort Scott and gives him some water, and he tries to get him to drink water. And at this point, you can tell like Scott's really in even more bad shape because he can't even really drink the water. And the water starts pouring on him and everything like that. And Ash is trying to look on the bright side and tell like Scott like, hey, like it's gonna be morning soon. I really like too. We didn't really talk about this. The set it at night, like the moon's like red, kind of showing like you know they're in doom and like the devil, and the demons are really possessive of everybody type of thing. So making the setting at night was really good. But Ash is still trying to look on the bright side, being like, you know, we'll get out of here, you, me, Linda. But then when he says Shelly, that's kind of like when Ash has kind of lost hope because obviously like Shelly he knows is dead at this point, and. You know, eventually Scott's just not really answering him anymore. And Ash kind of starts to lose hope. I really felt for Ash here. You know, he was one of the most hopeful characters of the whole movie. And his hope and just, I guess I can't really say his dreams, but his hope is just being shattered. And he's getting less and less, like, hopeful throughout these next
his dream like out of there with everybody, you know, because it's like, well, yeah, when he realizes like Shelly's dead, and then like he tries to give Scott that drink, and he's not, you know, like he realizes Scott's already dead. It's kind of like that, like fuck, no matter what, like we're not all getting out of here, kind of thing.
Yeah, but before because I think that this is to the part where I'll let like you take over for a couple minutes. What did you think of all these scenes and everything like that? I thought it was very good. This is probably the best character part of the movie, just seeing Ash get tortured like this and. Him having to like try to like you know go to like a dark side to like really put an end to the demons. He just can't bring himself to do it and everything like that. What do you think of all this stuff?
Yeah, I really like it. Again, kind of just showing how hopeless the situation is and how these demons like could pick them off at any time, but they just want to really torture them. And again, I love that scene where like it looks like Linda and Cheryl like aren't possessed anymore because like the demons just want to extra twist the knife in.
Yeah.
I like that Ash even keeps like muttering like, "Why are you torturing me?" You know?
Yeah, and I like that Ash doesn't completely buy it either. Like he kind of senses something's up. He's not really sure. He's like second guessing type of thing. So that's good. Yeah, Yeah, do you want to take over here cuz for a couple minutes cuz I gave you this next part to talk about.
Yeah. Actually, you do the Ash gets attacked part because I don't remember exactly what happens here.
So Ash is putting logs in the fire, and then eventually possessed Linda comes over and attacks him, pushes him into the wall. He lucked out this time. All the bookcases got destroyed, so he didn't have to worry about going into a bookcase this time. That was good. Probably the last thing in the world he was thinking about, but I'm like, wow, that's good. No more bookcases for him and everything like that. And Linda gets a really good uppercut in on him. And I don't remember exactly, but there's a moment where he gets like slammed to the ground. I even felt that one. Like, ooh, that felt like real painful. And then eventually, Ash is able to fight back. He actually knocks Linda almost into a bookcase and like destroys like a little table set that they set up. And if Scott wasn't dead before, he definitely was dead after this because he falls to the ground and presumably he get at one point he gets stabbed in the leg by like a glass that was just hanging there, and he knocks out Linda. And obviously Ash is contemplating with himself. He drags Linda over to the shed that you talked about in the very beginning of the movie. And he straps her down and he grabs a chainsaw. And again, he easily could just kill Linda here and stop the possession. Obviously, he wouldn't be fine because he would still have to deal with like Cheryl, but like he would be one step closer to getting out of there. But he just
Yeah. Well, like Cheryl is like, obviously she's like making good progress on getting out of the basement, but he'd be good for a while, yeah.
Yeah. But then he sees the necklace and shuts the chainsaw off and just really feels bad, really feels sympathetic. So instead he decides to bury Linda and he drags her outside. Yeah, I didn't expect they would drag this scene out. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I thought, since we already saw, like, Scott and Ash bury, Shelley earlier, I figured they would just kind of do this quick. But this ended up working out.
Go bad, though, because obviously the recording said you have to dismember them. And, like, obviously Ash can't bring himself to do that to Linda, so he's going to bury her whole. And obviously that's not going to work out good.
Yeah. They redo the scene that I talked about earlier, where just reversed, where Linda possessed Linda keeps opening her eyes, and Ash looks back, and obviously she closes her eyes and pretends to be like out of it and all that type of stuff. But this is like really creepy because when Linda opens her eyes, we see like the pupils are like rolled into the back of her head, and eventually Ash is successful in burying possessed Linda, and he goes for the necklace because Linda at this point has lost the necklace and everything like that. And when he grabs the necklace, possessed Linda pops out of her grave out of nowhere completely and starts attacking Ash again. Throws him, over, and then he grabs a big log and starts hitting Linda with it. And as the more and more he hits Linda, she starts to look like how Shelley is possessed now and everything like that, which looks really good. And yeah, this just shows you how strong these demons are, because again, this is like a big log and like Ash is obviously not holding back, and like and
catches it, like pushes him away, you know.
But not even that, like she's not even falling to like the ground at all, like really doing this, getting hit with the log. She's just stayed in there, like smile, pretty much stone faced and everything like that. But yeah, she grabs it and pushes it away. Eventually, Linda tries to leap at Ash, and then eventually Scott grabs the shovel. Oh, I don't know if you heard that. That's nice Halloween stuff right there. I guess I didn't turn my notifications off, so that's cool. But he hits Linda with the shovel, and her head comes completely off. And obviously, because the body's not completely dismembered, Linda is still like moving around and everything like that, like a chicken. Really weird to use this comparison because knowing the behind the scenes stuff, but like a chicken when it gets its head cut off, it still like moves around for a few minutes. Again, really weird to use this comparison because they were probably doing that off screen. So, doing all of this, possessed Linda without a head is trying to rape Ash, and you get a really cool shot where you see possessed Linda's head like still moving and like laughing and everything like that, and then eventually possessed Linda. I guess dies because the head just stops moving and then the body stops moving, so it looks like Ash has successfully gotten out of there. Um,
Well, I do like how it's like even just it's when Linda stops moving because like the head gushes out not just blood but like fucking like goo and shit, you know?
Yeah. But really good scene right here. Obviously I like that Ash, had to like kind of think quick on his feet. He had no choice but to basically make the decision to dismember Linda. And they don't dwell on it too much. Once it happens, like there's not like a big. I left this part of the behind the scenes, but they did mention there is some stuff that got cut out of the movie where the characters. Like Ash dwells on it, but obviously they had to cut it out because of timing and everything like that. I would have liked it if they kept that in there to kind of see because again, you get like a little bit of pause after this part of the movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I mean, this movie's pretty short, and like, again, you really don't get a lot of downtime. Like, this is all happening in like one night, you know?
Yeah, so I would have liked it if we could maybe. Didn't have to be long, but we could have seen. I guess the talent time was before the final fight. But I would have liked it if we could have seen what Ash was like thinking, finally having to kill Linda, because that was a big part of the movie and everything like that. And I'll mention that.
I guess you get like later on, he's like clutching the necklace, so you can tell he's still upset about it. But like, yeah, it would have been nice to actually like see his like actual thoughts.
Yeah. I'll mention this now too because and then I'll let you talk. At this point, during this fight with Linda, we see that Scott's body is completely gone. And obviously this was done on purpose because all of this is going on. You don't really notice it unless you're like me who noticed that. You probably notice it too. So you notice, okay, they clearly wanted you to forget about Scott and he's probably going to come back possessed and everything like that. But again, they did a really good job of really fading that into the background and everything like that. And when he comes back, it's like a big surprise.
Thing is like, I don't know if you mentioned it, but like during when Ash was burying Linda, you got a couple shots of like cutting to Cheryl, and she was like successfully like busting the hinges off the door, and like the chains were breaking, so you could tell she was about to get out.
And you didn't.
And yeah, sure enough, when he gets in, he's like looking around for Cheryl. You can tell the basement was opened. So yeah, it is kind of like your immediate thought is on Cheryl. You don't really notice that like Scott's gone. Yeah, I did notice it because I was thinking like, oh wait, like when's Scott gonna pop up? It's like he's dead. Presumably he's gonna like get his body possessed.
Yeah, I like that you didn't see because you saw she was doing successful, but you didn't get like a full breakout like scene of like Cheryl.
Yeah, he was about to, and then obviously it cut the whole Ash versus Linda thing. And then yeah, when Ash got back in, Cheryl was already out. But I'm saying I like that wasn't like pulled out of their ass. Like you could tell she was about to get out, but then you got focused on Ash versus Linda stuff.
Yeah, really weird comparison. You can make the comparison to Avatar because you know Iowa busted out of prison, but you never actually like. But again, they built up to that because there was that one episode where you saw that Iowa was getting like really strong.
Well, yeah, we could tell Ira was like buffing out.
Yeah, it was really planned. But yeah, what'd you think of Ash and Linda's final little face-off and everything like that type of thing?
It wasn't like an amazing fight scene, but like you could tell Ash how desperate he was, and like he just got through it by the skin of his teeth, and obviously you knew it was gonna go wrong because he couldn't bring himself to dismember her.
Yeah,
he knew Linda was back up and gonna try some bullshit.
Yeah, and then you're gonna talk about the preparation of the final face-off and everything.
Yeah. So when Ash gets in, obviously Cheryl's out. He grabs the shotgun.
Oh, you froze.
I think Shelly's room, the one with the busted window. And he is kind of doing what Scott was doing earlier, poking around a bit. And this time he like peers out the window, and Shelly like grabs the shotgun because she's super close. And Ash shoots off like bite because he's like freaked out, and he just barely like misses her, and she runs off. And he kind of like just like darts off, closes the door, and he just is like, oh shit, I gotta close the front. Immediately like runs to the front and closes it, and he's like, oh shit, I gotta close the back too. Runs to the back, And obviously this is all like one shot. You see like the camera following him as he's running around the cabin.
Yeah, this is cool.
Just like any way Cheryl could get back in and like try to block, like fortify the cabin essentially.
Yeah, this is really cool.
But like during this, the woods are just like fucking with them, and fucking, I don't know what they're called, the blinds or like the shutters on the windows are like slamming and like on the windows and like making a bunch of noise, and the cabin just basically essentially just punching the cabin over and over to freak Ash out.
Yeah. You were frozen for a couple of seconds, so like I don't know if you talked about this part. Did you talk about when you go to, maybe just say it again, when he goes downstairs to the basement to get like the casings and
Yeah.
Okay.
I was saying, like, Ash basically tried to shut all the doors, and like the windows were like the woods were like messing with the windows, and like banging on them.
Yeah, I really like this scene. We needed some downtime because we had like a lot of scenes like with the Linda fight, and then you had the Ash getting tortured. So I like that this was a way to give the movie some downtime and not like a force like, okay, it needs downtime. Like,
well, this is downtime, but it is kind of building up that like Cheryl's out there and Ash needs to like prep up.
Yeah. So.
Because Ash after he blocks all the doors, he realizes like, oh shit, I got to get more ammo, and like the shells are in the basement. Because obviously he shot one round off, and presumably that was like the only round that was loaded into the shotgun.
Yeah, I assume because they were probably gonna because they didn't put the casings up originally. Because again, they didn't fucking plan on this happening. They were probably just gonna fuck around and like do it the next day or whatever type of thing. So,
yeah. This isn't my scene, but I just want to mention it real quick. I do like the little detail later when you're going to talk about it, when Ash like shoots the window, and then for like a minute he's just like standing there like at the door like horrified, and then he like quickly looks down. He's like, "Oh fuck!" and he has to like eject it and put a new round in.
Yeah,
like it's a very small little thing, but that is a really cool detail that like he shot the shotgun. And then for like a minute, he's just like so horrified. He like totally forgets to like reload it.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
and he like panics to like put a new one in because obviously he needs to like be ready. Again, that was a very like minor thing in a little bit, but like I just wanted to bring it up because I thought that was really good acting on his part.
Definitely. And how much of that was like him improvising? Because again, he's producing the movie. He could probably improvise however much the fuck he wants, probably, and everything like that. Well, he's not producing the whole movie, but he's
Also, I low-key kind of liked it because I had to do like a shotgun thing for the Academy, and that was a big thing. I kept forgetting. It's like, oh yeah, right. You gotta like eject with a shotgun. You have to eject the previous shell.
Yeah.
With like a lot of guns, they automatically eject it, but with a shotgun, you have to do it yourself.
Yeah. Then the scene in the basement. He goes to get.
Yeah. So this is still me.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ash opens up the basement. He begins walking down. His leg is still busted up from when Linda was like and Cheryl were like scratching it earlier. And he ends up like falling down the stairs and like, oof, that hurts.
Yeah.
But I feel bad for this guy. Like everything is going wrong for him. But he gets back up and he's still like just kind of looking around. And this is a cool little thing. Earlier you saw the like the pipe in the basement was like leaking, and now you see that like it's been like taped up and it's like about to burst.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not water that bursts out; it's blood. And then you see just like blood leaking out of every opening in the house, like the light bulb, like the outlets, like everything is just like leaking blood. And this basement scene is probably like the trippiest scene in the movie, besides maybe like the very end where it's like disintegrating bodies.
Yeah.
But like this is probably my pick for my favorite scene in the movie. Like this whole basement thing where Ash is getting ready. Because Ash is like freaked out, like all the blood gushes on him. He like kind of runs away a little bit, and then like the movie projector turns on and like blinds him for a second.
Yeah.
And then that starts like slowly dripping blood on the camera lens, but it also begins like playing audio like from the movie. You know, like obviously stuff that wasn't like recorded in the universe, like the conversations they were having.
Yeah, it's insane. I thought that was good.
Yeah, and Ash is just like trying to ignore it best he can. He's like looking for the shells. He's like trying to load up, prepare for Cheryl. And then, the film projector finally like just starts to like spaz out and like low-key explodes, and again kind of like stuns Ash for a second.
I like the.
But yeah.
I know it's a minor thing, but I liked this because I didn't expect this. Like when the light bulb fills up with blood, that was a cool scene. I'm like, whoa, I didn't expect that to happen and everything like that.
Yeah, the blood was dripping from the light bulb, but yeah, that's kind of a slow thing where you see it slowly like build up. Yeah. And yeah, obviously Ash is just like trying his best to ignore all this, stay focused on getting ready. And yeah, this is a really cool scene. Very just again like trippy and like creepy, but like creepy in a different way from earlier.
Yeah. Again, this is one of those
like,
scenes.
Just like them like possessing the house itself. Again like all the blood leaking out and like that turning the camera on and playing the conversations from earlier to like mess with Ash.
Yeah, this is really good. Again, I feel like we talked about, we really can't do this scene justice. This is one of those scenes like it has to be seen also too, just how trippy and how creepy it is.
Yeah, like a lot of the effects, you can definitely tell it's low budget. It's an older movie, but this scene I think did a really good job with the effects.
Yeah, definitely. Probably a lot of the budget, the little budget it had went in. I wouldn't be shocked went into the next two scenes that we're going to talk about and everything like that.
But Ash leaves the basement. It's kind of a surprise because earlier in the movie you expect like something to like attack him in the basement, but obviously this is all very creepy and like it like fucks with Ash mentally. But nothing really attacks Ash in the basement, which is kind of a surprise.
Yeah, I thought something was like maybe this is when Scotty would have shown up or something like that type of thing. Because when he pops out, presumably, I guess he popped out from like the basement, and that would have like been that. I'm not saying it had to happen, but that would have been a nice callback because like earlier he like fucked with them by like
basement, but it was just a joke. Yeah,
so that would have been like a nice callback. But yeah, he's getting ready for the fight with Cheryl. And again, the cabin just fucking with him. At one point, like, there's obviously, like, a point where there's supposed to be a mirror, but, he's obviously freaked out and, puts his hand through, and it's, like, water in the mirror, but obviously you can tell the cabin and, like, the woods are just fucking with him. I'm making this joke now. Yellow Jackets would not survive. Like, remember, like, all those scenes in Yellow Jackets where it was just in their heads, they thought the cabin and, like, the woods was fucking with them? Yeah, they would. Imagine,
everybody but Ben dies in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, even Natalie and everybody probably even dies type of thing. So
Natalie lasts 10 minutes.
Yeah. How long does Ben?
She lasts double.
How long does Ben last? The whole movie?
Yeah, Ben's cool. Ben's chilling. He gets out.
I like how we say that. Again, we haven't watched the episode yet, but he's probably fucking.
Well, no, I know in the other Evil Dead movies, Ash gets a chainsaw hand. Fucking Ben gets a chainsaw leg.
Yes. I like how we say this, but what sucks is Ben's probably fucking dying the next episode, so it's like...
That's because the other Yellow Jackets are idiots, all right? It's just Ben's business. He dominates.
Ash is, like, really obviously, like, walking over, obviously, trying to keep his guard up, because obviously he knows that Cheryl could just pop out at any moment. Obviously, a jump scare that I think was supposed to get the fans. It didn't get me. Maybe it got you. Was obviously they redo the scene in the where Ash opens up the closet and Cheryl's not there. But then she pops out from the window. Obviously, this was meant to be a jump scare. It didn't get me. Did this jump scare get you, or did you kind of figure that was going to happen?
No. I was.
Yeah.
Well, gonna pop up eventually. Yeah.
And Scott's able to get a shot. He shoots Cheryl's possessed cheek, and like her cheek's just getting ripped off, and everything like that. And then he gets another.
That was earlier. Like he shoots at the window. The second time. The first time with Cheryl is when I talked.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so then I'm at the part. So then he backs up towards the door, and possessed Cheryl. reaches her arms through the door and chokes Ash, and Ash is able to break himself free, and he's able to shoot Cheryl's hands and everything like that, and he does a pretty good job blocking off Cheryl. But then this is the part where possessed Scott shows up out of nowhere, and
where was he? I don't know. Yeah, I guess the basement. He just did. He wanted to be rude, interrupt Ash earlier. So he was like, okay, I'll just wait for later when you get back upstairs.
Yeah. But again, this was a really nice surprise. And possessed Scott, comes up and attacks Ash. He grabs him by the neck and just tosses him. And earlier, one of the demons ripped at Scott's face. I think it was possessed Shelly, and they kind of redo that scene where Ash does it, and he pokes his eyes out like I talked about, and Scott becomes the man with no eyes. This is the person that Thais has been scared of this whole time, and everything like that. So,
Scott's like, you ruined my eyes. I'm leaving. I'm gonna go to New Jersey's where they live.
Yeah, and Scott's making really creepy noises and everything like that. And during all of this, the book falls close to the fire, and obviously the book's on fire a little bit, and you notice, or not on fire, but it's near the fire close enough where it's getting really hot, and he notices that that's also what's hurting Scott. So Ash kind of notices that if he burns he kind of puts two and two together, okay, if I burn this book, this will put these demons to rest and everything like that. This becomes a really nice struggle, because now not only does Ash have to face one of these, and that's a problem enough itself, now he's going to face two of them at once, and doing all of this because possessed Shelly is breaking into the cabin, and she's eventually successful, and possessed Shelly, Ash tries to grab the gun, but possessed Shelly just knocks it out of her hand and backhands Ash, and he falls to the ground, and he's also trying to burn the book at the same time, and possess Scott is grabbing at his leg, and I really like this. This really made this feel like a struggle where Ash was just kind of in an unwinnable situation, because he's being grabbed at by possessed Scott, and then possessed Cheryl grabs one of those pointers you use to help with the fire, and it is just whipping Ash right across the back with this nightstick or whatever.
Well, she's not really stabbing him with it. She's just kind of smacking him with it, kind of like how he was smacking Linda with the log earlier.
Yeah. So Ash is in a really tough predicament here, and he also can't even reach the book because he's being pulled by possessed Scott. So he uses the necklace that he gave Linda, and he tries to use it as a rope, so that way he can grab the book and use it to push it in there and everything like that. And they do a nice bait and switch where you think he's not going to be successful, but eventually he's able to push the book into the fire, and the demons stop. And I want to mention this because I know this is supposed to be your scene, but Ash still, even though the demons stop, Ash still almost fucking died, because then the stick falls, and the point end of the stick nearly stabbed him. He was this close from getting stabbed. So I did kind of that Ash still almost got screwed. Ash still could have almost died, and everything that type of thing. I wonder if he would have gotten possessed, because the book would have burned. So would he have gotten possessed? I guess so, right? Because
well, yeah, probably, because as we're gonna find out, not everything is completely back to normal.
Yeah. But I really like this scene. Really good final face-off. Kind of made you question the audience, how the hell is Ash going to get out of this? Really did a good job of making this a struggle for Ash, even burn the book and everything like that.
Yeah, and it wasn't a whole kung fu fight scene or anything, but it really felt gritty. You really felt for Ash. He's just a normal guy, fucking getting tossed around for 90% of it, and he just barely squeaks by. I will say it's a little weird. He kind of knew, oh, okay, burn the book. Well, so the book was near the fireplace, and it was a little bit burned.
Yeah.
And Scott and Cheryl were smoking, so I guess that's how he kind of figured they're tied to the book.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's a little bit of a leap. I feel to just be if I burn the book, they'll die.
Yeah. But didn't necessarily hate it, I guess. But yeah, then you're gonna talk about when it gets you're gonna talk about when it gets real trippy.
Yeah, so Ash throws the book in the fireplace, and it just fucking the effects for this are so gross. It looks pretty good, you know, like even for its time and with the low budget, it looks really good. You can definitely tell this is where a lot of the money went.
Yeah.
It lasts like a good 2 or 3 minutes of them just like disintegrating, and it cuts to Ash just like stone faced. You could tell he's just like silently afraid, like just hoping that like this ends soon. But yeah,
and I think you can tell he's
like
he's also on edge. Like is like, okay, is it actually over? Like what's going on here?
End soon. Like it's just like is this over? Like what's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like again, it doesn't just like them disintegrating. It's like their flesh rots. Like it's like pus and goo coming out, and like even bugs start like coming out of them. It's so gross. And then yeah, at one point like Cheryl like just gushes over Ash, and he just is like, you know, like he like low key wants to vomit.
What do you think Ash would do if he saw Kiss Sis? I'd be like, yeah, I'd rather see this.
He'd jump into the fireplace himself.
He'd probably be like, yeah, I don't.
Like, you know what? Yeah, you know what? The Evil Dead wins. The Kiss Sis.
Do you think the Evil Dead would jump into the fire themselves? But
Yeah, they would purposefully throw the book in the fire. Like, okay, no, we're done.
We are done with this.
Yeah, but yeah. Again, this whole disintegrating thing lasts a good couple minutes to like really play up like the tension of like, oh, is it over, and like show off the effects. But again, you know, it's kind of one of those things where it's tough to describe because, you know, like I said, a lot of this is like the characters are looking around for the monster, or like, you know, obviously like the special effects are going on. Like it's kind of, we sum it up briefly, but like it obviously like it's drawn out more in the movie.
It's really good though. Yeah, I like. And again, you know, for its time, it was really influential type of thing. You know, you don't really see a lot of stuff like this, and you know, you don't really know what you're really like seeing. And you know, Evil Dead does a lot of like higher budget effects because again, it's got a bigger budget. But this this really stands out and everything like that.
Yeah. But yeah, they are disintegrated. Cheryl and Scott are gone, and then Ash kind of slowly picks himself up. And I like this. So before, you know, obviously it was still nighttime, but like now that like Ash gets himself off the floor, you could see through like the curtains in the window that like it's lighter outside, like it's the sun is rising.
Yep.
So that was really cool. You know, they kind of timed, you know, like Ash surviving, Cheryl and Scott with him surviving the night. And he kind of just slowly walks towards the door. And like, again, like kind of peaceful kind of music is playing. You hear the birds chirping a little bit. He like slowly opens the door to step outside. And I like how Ash, again, is still like hesitant to see if it's even over. Like even he doesn't fully buy it.
Yeah.
He's just kind of like slowly walking towards the car, like not sure if it's truly over. But he seems a little relieved, like he's starting to buy it. Like, oh, he's fully survived. Like it's over. And you know, presumably at this point, he was gonna hop in the car and take the trail, you know, and down out of the cabin,
Yeah.
out of the mountain. And yeah, you think it's over, but for a final scene, we again kind of get a shot tying into the very beginning where you saw like a camera.
I want to point
darting around the.
I want to point this out too, because you get this scene happens like because obviously it's not HD, so it's like standard edition. The second Ash like gets off screen, the scene you're about to talk about like happens too, and everything like that. Like the second he gets off screen, which is really cool. Like, you know.
Yeah, making you think like, oh, he's okay once he's off camera. But yeah, you see the camera rise out of the leaves and begins dashing through the woods again. And then this time you get an outside shot of like it goes past like the shed and then like past the cabin. Well, it goes through the back door of the cabin, through the living room, and it busts out the front door. Like it like ripped it in half, and then like rushes towards Ash. Ash turns around and screams. It zooms in on Ash and it cuts the credits.
Mm-hmm.
But what I like this one because again it tricks Ash and the audience into thinking he got out okay before fucking him over one last time.
Did you buy it? Because I've seen horror movies. I didn't buy it because obviously I know the monster always comes back.
I kind of figured something was going to happen. I think that's kind of a trope of horror movies of like making you think it's okay, and then at the last second pulls a twist of like, nope, they die.
Yeah. Now, obviously, as we talked about, obviously because this was the only movie, I think this was meant to be like Ash died, but obviously we know that we don't exactly know if that's the case or not. You know, obviously because there's other ones we see Ash comes back. So obviously it will be interesting to see like what they do with this type of thing.
Yeah. This is ambiguous enough where like you could buy he survived somehow.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know like what attacked him.
Right.
So again, like obviously if this was like the only movie, the implication would be Ash died. But again, it's off screen, so you can kind of I can buy the Ash survived this and like comes back.
But yeah, really good stuff here.
And like it just like so casually busts through the back and front door. Like it could have done this at any point, but again, it wanted to torture Ash with like Cheryl and Scott.
And I guess the demon just had enough, being like, "Okay, I tortured you enough. Now I'm killing you," type of thing. So
yeah.
I guess I didn't talk about this. One thing I liked about with the final fight, I like that like the possessed Scott like possessed like Cheryl will like seem like they were like working together somehow because like they were like both trying to kill Ash.
Yeah, Scott obviously like got his eyes poked out and like a bunch of blood gushed out when Ash removed like the wooden thing in his gut. But he was still able to move enough where he was like dragging Ash away from the fireplace.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was kind of, even though he couldn't move much, he was like trying to help Cheryl keep Ash in place.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
I will say, kind of went down pretty easy compared to Shelley, Linda, and Cheryl.
Yeah, I would. I mean, again, it's only an hour and a half, so I guess I understand that. Maybe because he was so up.
Yeah.
Maybe because he already died, so like that demon wasn't strong enough.
Yeah, like his body was already fucked up. Oh, like you said, it would have been kind of cool if we got him like in the basement and they had a little thing.
Yeah, I would have liked that. But yeah, AJ, we got to talk about how this did in theaters and everything like that. Do you want to guess how much it made at the box office?
Well, you said I think it was like 300,000 budget. This obviously became a hit, or like at very least a cult classic horror movie, and spawned a bunch of sequels. I'm gonna guess. It's also tough because fucking box office returns are like inflation compared to today. 500 million.
It made 29.4 million.
Yeah. See, again, it's tough to tell like fucking how much it's like successful for back then.
Yeah. Obviously, it performed above expectations originally. There was initial domestic disappointment, but then eventually, like in theaters, it grossed opening weekend like 108,000 in its opening weekend. Word of mouth helped a lot. This became like a sleeper hit, and then it eventually domestically it grossed 2,400,000 in the budget. Well, and then overseas, it's not exactly known the numbers. It says $261,944, and worldwide, it did about that much, and also 270 million overseas. For worldwide gross, it was like I said, the number I said earlier. Obviously, there was some controversy with this movie, like you said, the one earlier, but obviously it became questionable whether or not this movie was like too gory and all that type of stuff, because again, they hadn't really seen a lot of movies like this. It did really good in the VHS numbers, and like the Blu-ray stuff later on and everything like that. I won't talk too much about that, but it did really good that. Obviously, the reception was really good. And obviously later on, the reviews initially were very good because it was like unlike anything of its time. And then obviously, because it's got the staying power, a lot of people think this is still a really influential movie. And then, as we said, this movie, became a huge thing. It's what got Sam Raimi. It really was his breakout movie. And it was also a breakout movie for Bruce Campbell. They tried to make another movie called Blood Sample, but it didn't really do that well. So then eventually they just went back to Evil Dead. No, sorry, it wasn't Blood Sample. It was Crime Wave. They made Blood Sample, and that did well, but then Crime Wave wasn't really good in the box office. It was a box office failure. So then they went back to Evil Dead, and obviously, Evil Dead, like we talked about, has got so much media behind it. We have sequels, remakes. It's a comic book, like you've said. It's a video game. There's a TV series that got made out of it called Ash vs. Evil Dead. Evil Dead became a really successful horror franchise. Yeah, really good to see where the source material started and everything like that. So, really cool stuff. But now we're going to do the letter grades. And this is interesting, AJ, because I wasn't sure how you would like this, because this is our first actual horror movie, and it actually was a horror movie this time. I thought, Glass was going to be a horror movie, and then it wasn't. So, I'm going to let you start with the letter.
At this point. I'm going to give this one an A-. I really liked it. The effects for its time were, again, hit or miss. Some of them were amazing. Some of them were pretty bad. The characters, I guess, are pretty just generic, but they kind of just serve their purpose. Would have been nice to get a little bit more downtime, before things pop off. Just to really get to flesh out the relationships. Because we really got one scene of Ash and Linda being a couple, and that's kind of a big part of later on.
Yeah.
And obviously I didn't even know Cheryl was Ash's sister until the demon Cheryl was like, "Hey, I'm your sister."
Right.
Besides that, I like Ash as a main character. He's very good. Like you said, kind of a pure good person. You really feel bad for him, and how he is really hesitant to attack Shelly, but then he's forced to fight his girlfriend and his sister and his best friend. I like the setting, very creepy, and I kind of like that it's very there's only 5 characters. The demons are cool. I like how they just are fucking with them the whole movie. And yeah, it's very simple but effective movie.
Yeah, the tone for the movie is very good. The music's very good. Just putting these characters in kind of a no-win situation. Really kind of cool. You could, even though you end up blaming them for the decisions, it really because they're in this no-win situation, you kind of buy the decisions a little bit because they're yeah, they're in a no-win situation. And it.
See, that's what I'm a big thing with in movies and shows. Obviously, if you've seen our other reviews, is I am completely okay with the characters making dumb decisions if it's in character for them.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. There wasn't really a lot of dumb decisions in this movie. Even the biggest one, I guess, would be is when Scott leaves on his own. But that is he's already in a kind of a lose-lose situation. If he stayed, he probably would have died anyway. So it's kind of he took a gamble and you know what? And considering all the trauma he just went through, I get it. Even later on when Ash can't bring himself to dismember Linda. That's another one of I get it.
Yeah, so I really like this. Really like Ash as a main character. He's really good. And the effects, again, like you said, are so-so. Some are really good. And again, I like we talked about, I don't think it's a time thing. Also, it's the budget thing. But yeah, I'm going to go A-. I hope we can keep doing this and watch the next one.
Dead 2. I definitely want to get around to that eventually.
Yeah, so maybe we'll do that next year. Maybe not Halloween, that'd be too long. Maybe try to do that
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't want to wait a whole year to do Evil Dead 2, but yeah, hopefully sometime in 2026.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. Is there anything you want to plug or promote before we get out of here?
No.
I figured that was coming. Obviously, my wrestling channel, my friend Chris and I are going to do 6 more videos related to wrestling. And then for this channel, we're making some changes. We're not going to take a big break anymore. Or not even take a break at all. Doing season 3 of Yellow Jackets.
All right.
Huh?
I said we're not planning to, at least.
Yeah. Because again, we had just took like an unplanned 3-week break by accident type of thing.
Well, I mean, we're gonna have to take a week break no matter what because you're getting your wisdom teeth taken out.
Yeah, and that's included. So but that was this week, and then last week we didn't do a video, and then the week before that, I guess we did it, but you know, the next week will be 3 weeks. So, we're just gonna like finish Yellow Jackets. We'll try to do some videos in between it, like the days AJ works. Like try to do, you know, a Dragon Ball, or we never did Kiss This for his birthday. I was gonna let him off the hook, but he's pretty insistent on it.
Listen, I'm like, we did it for yours. We got to do it for mine.
Yeah. Yeah, just very late on your end. You got what you lucked out on. We decided we're gonna do 2 more Danny videos this year. We're gonna end Avatar off with the Storm, and then you know that would kind of be it. We might try to see if we could squeeze in the episode 5 of Star Wars and the Christmas Star Wars, and then. That would kind of wrap us up for the end of the year. You know, we only have 2 months left. So we're going to try to go out sweating. And then next year, we'll, you know, we're going to really buckle down and make Danny, Ben, and Avatar the big focus for next year. So.
Yeah, that's not the only thing we're going to do. Obviously, we want to start Walking Dead. And I really want to start Riverdale because that show is fucking awful.
Yeah.
And of course, we want to do like Toy Story 2 and 3, and then if we do Empire Strikes Back, we want to do Return of the Jedi, you know, and like some other stuff. Obviously, Evil Dead 2, like we said. But yeah, our main focus is going to be Avatar, Danny, and Ben.
Yeah, definitely want to do more movies next year. I think I've said this. I want to see if I could squeeze it in where we can at least do 1 a month. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. We will talk to you guys later.
Bye.